And then
George, why do we have to fight so much? If we have a problem, why can't we just talk it through like Tom and Helen? They don't fight.
They don't fight because they're scared to fight.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know damn well what it means. If you two ever really started going at one another, inside of 5 minutes, he'd be calling you.
Don't say it.
Nigga.
He said
You listen to me. We have had lots of fights, and it's never happened.
Oh, and don't tell me it never crossed your mind.
no more than it ever crossed my mind to say the word hunky to Tom.
Well, how come you said it just then?
Come on, let's go.
That's the best idea you've had all day.
welcome to another edition of Power and Strategy TV. I am your gracious host, Tony Maceo, and I would like to say good morning to the 4 people that have popped in to check out this podcast. The link you just saw or witnessed was a clip from the groundbreaking classical television show, The Jeffersons, a show created by, I think it was Bud Yorkin and Norman Lear. Okay. So that sets the scene perfectly for what I want to discuss today. Shout out to Cornelius Edwards. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Ultimate Black Male Radio, or Black Man Radio, excuse me, in the house. Lord Marvis, I think that's the name. Excalibur. What's up to everyone in the chat room? So the clip that you just saw, the clip that you just viewed, came from an episode, an early episode of The Jeffersons. And I don't have to explain it to you. You can go back and look at it yourself and see what it was. But it served as one of my inspirations for today's podcast, and that's Swirling. Swirling is not a land of milk and honey. Also included as a link in my description box is an article that I wrote on the Negro Manosphere. I think it's in 2018 or 17, called Tom and Helen Willis, Swirling in Retrospective, or in Retrospect. So I wanted to go over this myth and these things that we have, these ideas that we have about swirling, and some of the misconceptions and misnomers that have been promoted widely on YouTube. I talk about all the shit that people don't like talking about. So because I talk about all the shit that people don't like talking about, I don't expect to be, nor do I wish to be, popular. Matter of fact, it was a guy on, I think it was the last video, just pay up, just pay and shut up. He put a comment on in my comment section. He said this channel will never go viral because there's too much truth here. That's what we've always said at Mac City. That's all what I've always said here, is that we're not for the masses. We're not for the masses, and unfortunately, I guess that's my curse. But one of the things that I wanted to discuss this morning is, this afternoon, excuse me, is a lot of the things that we leave out when we're talking about relationships. And I want to discuss it from both the male and the Black female perspectives, because there's a lot of lying, bullshit, and dishonesty that goes on when we're talking about interracial relationships. What we have here are a bunch of subpar niggas wanting a bunch of above average mates. You have a lot of subpar females that want above average men, and you have a lot of subpar men that want above average women. It cuts in both directions. Now, what I generally see, I want to talk about it from I'm going to make sure this is not gender specific. It's not tailored strictly toward the women, and it's not tailored strictly towards the men. I'm just calling it how I see it. A lot of times, what I've seen or what I've witnessed on YouTube is the crystalline Karazin syndrome. And what do I mean when I say crystalline Karasin syndrome? And of course, I'm not trying to clout chase because I'm not talking about her directly. I'm talking about the idea that she promotes. And it's this thing where they believe that if they find a white man, it's going to save them from all the unfortunate circumstances of being black. I'm going to get on the niggas in a minute, but I want to deal with the women first, and then I'm going to cross over to the dudes because it's a lot of bullshit and fuckery with them too, especially when they start talking about the so called quote unquote successful ones. They want to quote unquote leave Blackistan. So I'm going to get on those niggas in just a minute. But you have a lot of these females, and what they want is they're looking for white men to save them from the unfortunate circumstance of coming from the black community. And a lot of them don't like to hear that because they think it's a pro-black statement, but it's really not a pro-black statement. It's just being 100. You got a lot of black women. What they've done is they fucked around with these nickel slick gang niggas that have conned them out of sex and knocked them up, and so they're attracted to that kind of nigga, but they know that they can't cash out with that kind of nigga. They know that there's no end game with that kind of nigga, but that's what they're physically and sexually attracted to. And they realize that they can't change him or transform him into being uh, a healthy, a sane, a rational, or a consensual long-term partner, i.e., marriage, or even just a long-term relationship. Or what's happening is they're in these so-called situationships, and you'll know these things when you see them because you'll look at these statuses on Facebook, or you go to a dating site status on these dating sites, and you'll look at these relationship statuses, and it'll say some shit like it's complicated. You'll see a lot of that. It's complicated. What they're really saying is that they're in a situation with a nigga that they can't let go of, but they like laying up with him. That when they're together, he makes her feel like, she is on top of the world when he's with her, but he gonna take her through all of the kind of shit that she didn't count on or that she didn't sign up for. So she knows that he's not a reasonable long-term prospect, but she likes fucking him. She like laying up with him, but she can't count on him to be a husband, or she can't count on him to even be an honorable boyfriend. She can't even count on him to be a respectful boyfriend or a decent boyfriend. So when they get together, they pretty much getting together to just fuck. Or what happens is that she has a baby daddy. She likes fucking the baby daddy. She likes going back over and over again, fucking him. They just can't live in the house together. They just can't stay together. And so it's a situation that we're together when we're together, but when we're not, we're not. It's sort of like what there was a scene from the movie Barbershop with Ice Cube with Ricky. The homosexual, the cute guy with the eyes that all you ladies just die for, the light skinned nigga. And there was a girl outside. And he was talking to this girl. And he tells this girl that when we're together, but when we're not, we're not. That's what it means. That's what it's complicated means. That's what a situationship means. You can't count on this nigga to pay no bills. You can't count on this nigga to be responsible. But being with him because he's attractive is social currency among other females. It makes your status in the hookup culture, it elevates your status in the hookup culture because you're around or you're screwing this guy. Not that he's going to give you anything. It just increases your stature around those damn cackling hens that you running with, around the other hood rats, because all the other hood rats want to fuck your man. That elevates your stature among your hood rat circle of friends. That's what that means. So you'll keep him just to as an ego booster around your friends who are really not going anywhere, really not doing anything, and they're in the same type of relationship that you're in. And that's why that nigga will end up fucking your friends. That's why he will end up screwing around on you with your girlfriends because your girlfriends are secretly lusting after that nigga. And that's why they will always put themselves in a position to be hollered at by this nigga. So this is why you hear a lot of women talking about it's complicated. They just can't let go of them. They double back. So when they get with these niggas or they get knocked up by these niggas, then what will happen is they know he can't cash out. And then the nigga that can cash out is unwilling to cash out because she got this nigga's baby. The dude that is able to take her from that perspective will not take her from that perspective because he has she has another nigga's baby. He doesn't want to come in and pay the bill for another dude. He don't want to come in and pay another nigga's power bill. He doesn't want to come in and take care of another nigga's responsibility. But he is willing to smash her, but he's not going to accept any obligations for being with her. So she doesn't have the option of dealing with uh, the good guy either, because the good guy is not really trying to fuck with her like that. So what she has is a succession of dudes that want to come through and smash. She doesn't have any promise of security. She doesn't have any promise of stability. She doesn't have any promise of being able to quote unquote secure the bag. Shout out to Nicole Michelle. She doesn't have that. Uh, uh, um, she doesn't have that prospect. So now what she's looking for is she's looking for salvation, not salvation in the form of the Lord. She's looking for salvation in the form of a bailout. She's looking for a man that's going to come through and cash out and provide her with that long term security as she begins to get older. So now what's happening is she can't count on the niggas to do it. So now where does she naturally go? She starts saying, well, what I want to do is I want to try my hand with white men. I want to try my hand with white men. So these niggas ain't shit. But really what it is the niggas that she's getting pregnant and getting knocked up with ain't shit because they're all in the same class. And both of them have a false or an over exaggeration of not only their entertainment value, they have a gross exaggeration of their sexual market value as well. They have an over exaggeration of their sexual market. So both of them are trying to switch lanes and get out of their lane, but they can't afford what they're trying to cross over to. So now a lot of times when these black women will try to cross over and they'll say, well, now I want me a white man now. Because what they're really saying is I want economic opportunities. That's really what they're saying. I want opportunities for economic advancement. That's what they're really saying, for financial advancement. I'm trying to level up. So now the question becomes is what kind of and what kind of woman is she? I'm just gonna keep it square. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 or all the way 100. It's two type of black women that end up with white men, and the relationships are entirely different. When a working class black woman marries a white man, when a working class black woman marries or starts to date a partner with a white man, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna like this, but she's a ratchet. That's the woman coming to the white man with another nigga's kid. Crystal and Carrison was the proverbial ratchet. I know that that's not something that a lot of women want to hear, but she comes from that proverbial ratchet background. So, what kind of white man did she find when she leveled up? Miss Chrissy did an excellent video on this, and Crystal and Carrison talked about who her quote unquote man was. And who he really was he was the son of a powerful or affluent judge, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I heard her say. And these children of these conservatives, they're usually very liberal. They're the liberals and rebels of their community. So what they're doing is they're rebelling against the gray suit conformity, the gray flannel suit conformity ethos of suburban white culture. What they're trying to do is give a finger to their culture, sort of like during the 60s, what the hippies did when they embraced the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement. And so what happens is what they're doing is they're trying to give a finger in the face of their parents' values and conformities. They're rebelling. They're like teenagers. They're going through their stage of teenage rebellion. And so what they do is they go and find, they go and find the most marginalized, economically disenfranchised black person that they can find, and they go and marry him. So you become sort of like Tariq Nasheed said this a long time ago, and there was some validity to what he said. They go and find them a pet nigga. And white people are famous for this. White people will do this shit all the time. Usually when they do it with Asian women, or they do it, they're famous for appropriating Asian women and Asian cultures or rare cultures or unique cultures. There's a term for it. It's called Orientalism. It's where white people make a fetish of everything that is strange, alien, and foreign, where they pour themselves into cultures outside of their own because they're dissatisfied with something that they find within their culture, or they're dissatisfied about a facet of their culture. So what they'll do is they'll go find some the strangest thing that they can find that's alien to their culture, and promote that, push and trumpet it. So when they go and find the ratchet in the black community, that is in contradiction. It is the antithesis of white generational wealth building, because a lot of their old conservative parents really do not want to share generational wealth with ratchet niggas from the hood. So what they're trying to do is give a thumb in the eye or a thumb in the face of their parents' convention, or they're trying to give a thumb in the eye or a thumb in the face of their parents' background because they don't agree with it. you know so what they're doing is they're trying to thwart the system, or they believe that they're thwarting the system. So they will do that. They will take a black woman just to say F you to their parents, so forth and so on. So you will have a lot of them doing that. And so Miss Chrissy stated in her video that it was that what you're getting when you get a lot of the white men is the liberals and the rebels. You guys remember B-Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted? You guys remember the movie Malibu's Most Wanted with B-Rad? That's what a lot of these black women will get with. They will swerve the nigga with gold teeth for the white boy with gold teeth and spinning rims, and the nigga Corvette, the Dodge 300. So, in other words, the same shit that they would have gotten with a nigga in the hood, now they go get it with a white dude who wants to be hooded out, because the hood and hood culture and black culture is a fetish to white people, because what they're doing is they're using black culture as a direct check or as a slap in the face against their own cultural and social upbringing. So what they'll do, what these white dudes, what these black women will do, is a lot of times they don't get these high-powered white men that they're telling you about. They'll go get them a B-Rad, or they'll go get them this real socially liberal, borderline beta and effeminate. Well, let me not say beta, borderline effeminate white dude that's really liberal. He understands your struggle. He understands where you come from. So they'll go get that dude and parade him in your face, you know or again, take for instance the rapper Eve. And it was so funny because when she was around niggas, she was a pit bull in a skirt. When she was around niggas, she was the everyday ratchet hood bitch on the block. But then when she got with that white boy, she said specifically that that white boy tamed her. So when she was with niggas, she was a pit bull. But when she got with that white boy, she became a poodle. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? And a lot of people will tell you that these issues are not prevalent, or they don't permeate the decisions that they make in deciding to quote unquote swirl, but that's a lie. Now, if you're in a relationship and it's healthy because you love that person, I ain't got no shine on you because you love. I don't have any shine on you, period. I'm not interested in dick and pussy politics. I'm not interested in that. I'm just explaining the shit that nobody talks about again. So back to Eve. It's amazing how she was a snapdragon with niggas, but she becomes Puff the Magic Dragon with this white dude. She explicitly said, quote unquote, that this white man was the first person to tame her. That's what she said. That those are words out of her own mouth, that this white man tamed her. Now, by tame, I know she wasn't talking about in the sense that these niggas tame wild chicks, because that's a process on its own too. That is an abnormal process on its own as well. So what Eve was saying was that she had a chance to escape the circumstances of her background, but nobody wants to come out and say that. She got the opportunity to escape the consequences of being in a culture that is economically depressed. That's what she means when she said he tamed her. She got a chance to marry a Gerard Butler. She got a chance to marry a Bradley Cooper. She got a chance to marry a Leonardo DiCaprio. That is her Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's not even about him being a white knight. He's not a white knight. He's an escape plan. That's what that was. It's the same thing Candace Owens did. Candace Owens knew that niggas didn't have nothing for her. Candace Owens knew she couldn't cash out with the nickel slick nigga in the hood, even if he is a Democrat, even if he's a Republican. Candace Owens knew that niggas had nothing for her. She knew it. So what did she do? She went and found her a conservative white boy and she cashed out. Yes, Cornelius, that's what it is. It's called white zaddy. That's what they call it. That's the term. That's the colloquialism. White zaddy. So when they get with that white dude, they hit a lick. They're leveling up. They have found a way to level up out of a fucked up dating pool. That's what that is. And what they're also doing is they're exploiting what they know, and this is nothing new. They're exploiting the white male fetish and curiosity with black female sexuality. That's what they're doing as well. They're exploiting the white male fetish, hood fetish, because that's what it is. They're exploiting the white male hood fetish and the white male fetish for black female sexuality. That's what they're doing. And they know that they're doing that openly. They're not doing it innocently. They're not doing it unaware. They know pretty well that they're pushing that Madonna whore button with white men. They know that they're doing this. It is not that they don't know that they're doing, they know exactly what they're doing when they do this. So women like Crystal and Karazin that get lucky and level out of the dating pool and find these white, because that was luck. Because usually even white men, and here's what's something that black women don't, black women think that they can have a bunch of children by these hood niggas and think that white men are gonna, no, these white conservative men are not gonna save you either. They will lay with you and smash you just like a nigga, but they are not gonna save you, not with somebody else's kids. So I'll see from time to time, I'll see a bunch of hood rats. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Renaissance man. It does apply to Jewish men to marry black women because the hood and black people are fetish. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Niggas are one, we are one big racial curiosity. We are one big fetish. So yes, it applies to Jewish men. But anyway, uh they don't you'll come across these black women. You'll come across these black women that what they're doing is they're trying to conduct that type of exploitation. They're trying to exploit that fetish, and they find this white man that will take them out of those circumstances, and so they will deal with that dude because he is their escape. He is their 401k, a retirement plan against these niggas that ain't really offering them nothing. I'm not talking about Russell Wilson. I'm not, please stay on topic. Please don't. I'm not here to accomplish your personal vendettas against black women you don't like. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to call Russell Wilson a simp. I'm not here for any of that shit. I'm here to talk about swirling. And Russell Wilson has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So please do not come in here with that bullshit. Anyway, they're exploiting the racial and sexual curiosities. And you'll see a lot of these black women that will come around saying, well, I want me a white man. Here you are up here with 4 and 5 children. You up here with 4 and 5 children, and now you want a white man. What make you think a white man is going to be your escape? What makes you think a white man is going to be your escape? What make you think a white man is going to want a woman with 4 and 5 children? Crystal and Carolson got lucky. That's lightning in a bottle. That doesn't generally happen. But I get it. She gives a lot of you guys hope that you can find this white Prince Charming that's going to save you from your circumstances. And I'm telling you that if you look at the odds, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. As a matter of fact, Crystal and Carolyn bought this man called the Veganator. Do you guys? I'm sure some people here remember that. She bought this guy, and she did it because she thought he was cute. She bought this guy, the Veganator, onto her show. And when she bought this guy, this Veganator, on her show, it blew up in her face. And she wound up crying on social media about she brought this man on because he piled on the abuse that black women are already receiving, so forth and so on. And she just ended up putting black women in a position to where they ended up getting abused. And she was crying that we have no protection. But she was the one that bought this nigga on her platform. She was the one that bought this nigga, this disrespectful nigga, in the face of black women. She put them in harm's way by bringing this nigga on her platform. And then what happened is he went to another channel and was talking about how he liked to dog fuck bitch y'all. Excuse me, how he liked to dog walk y'all and fuck bitch y'all on another channel. You didn't catch that episode. I forget what channel he was on, and he was talking about how he had this black woman and how he was choking her, and how she was getting wet and nutting and shit like that. And all the niggas on the panel was laughing at that shit, and this is how he feels about you. This is how he felt about you. He was telling the truth, and I don't have no shade to throw at him because he was telling the truth. He was letting you know how he really sees you. He was letting you know what he really thinks about you. You're a fuck bitch. You're a fuck bitch. You're a side piece to him. That's honesty. I know it may hurt your feelings. I know it may hurt your feelings, but that's how they see you. You are a sexual fetish to them. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I'm just calling it as I see it. That man, for that hour and some change, or however long he was on that podcast, he let out his experiences with black women. He let you know what his and it was framed around sex. It was not framed around marriage. It was not framed around quote unquote the bag. It was framed around banging you in the sack. That's what it was about. Because the truth is that when people take mates among they take mates in an instance or in a certain circumstance as peers. Not that they want to be equal to that person, because all men enjoy the power that comes with patriarchy. They tend to take mates from women that they can relate to inside of their own culture. When white people take mates, or when white men take mates from other racial groups, it's usually other racial groups that white people dominate. So the presence of economic, financial, and social power is present even in those relationships. In other words, the woman becomes a tool of conquest. You are a spoil of plunder. There's an excellent book called The Wretched of the Earth, written by Algerian psychologist Frantz Fanon. He talks about this. He talks about how the women, how when The best indication that a culture or civilization has been conquered is when an outsider has unfettered access to your woman. And he also says those means by which that conqueror comes in to infiltrate your culture, he's coming in through economic opportunity and advancement. But it's going to be, and I'm paraphrasing his argument. This is not a direct quote, but what he's saying is they're going to come in offering freedom, liberal values, and economic advancement. But really, what they want to do, what they're really making you is a high paid prostitute. Really, what you are is a high paying escort. Now, am I talking about every relationship forever and ever? Amen. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the political, the socio political, the economic implications and parameters and consequences and motivators when it comes to interracial dating. It's not about love. As Tina Turner said, what does love have to do with it? Love don't have shit to do with it. A lot of times it's about lust and power. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times it is about lust and power. So when they choose you, you are a sign of conquest. That's why he could talk about how he had his hands around that woman's throat, fucking her and bouncing all up and down in her, and she got wet. Now, there's nothing wrong with rough sex. There's nothing wrong with rough sex. There's nothing wrong with having a fetish. There's nothing wrong with BDSM. But this was something else. Tariq Nasheed called this the slave fetish. That's what he called it. And I'm inclined to believe he was right. I'm inclined to believe he was right. No, it's not abuse, Miss Santos, because a lot of black women like rough sex. I'm not begrudging anybody for what they like in the bedroom. But what I'm saying here is that this was a slave fetish that this boy had. Now, that you ain't supposed to say that in polite company. Of course, he gonna deny it. He'll never admit it. But that's what this was. That's what it was. And it's time to call it what it is. You're a booty call. That's what it was. That's what it is. You are a damn booty call. I'm not a particular fan of Tyler Perry, but there was a movie called The Family That Prays, and I found that to be a rather accurate depiction of how white men see black women. She was just a stopover. He was just a welcome distraction from his wife and his kids. He never really took her anywhere outside of the hotel room, which I think was 317, which is the same room his daddy used to sleep with black women in. His daddy used to slum with black women because that's what it is slumming. His father used to slum with black women in that same hotel room. And that white woman showed up and said, Yo, she was like, You're pathetic. You're pathetic. And that's why you're limited to this hotel room. Stay away from my husband. And when it was all over, what did he tell her? I'm not leaving my wife. And she said, We have a son together. He was like, What son? She looked at him as a god because she thought that he was going to rescue her from her circumstances of coming from a broken home, of dealing with a man who was honorable. He just didn't have a whole lot of money, but he was honorable. She thought that he was going to come through and rescue her from the consequence of her situation. And it didn't work out that way. So uh, let me say this before I get started because I'm seeing some shit in the chat room that I don't like. If you come, I'm not in here with that red pill manosphere shit. So please don't come in my room. Please don't come in my chat room with that. Please don't come in my chat room with that because this is not, I'm not into masculine supremacy and I'm not into female supremacy. I'm into the truth. Don't come in here with that shit. Please don't come in here with that. So let me say from the outset, if you guys think that this is a red pill manosphere space, let me disabuse you of that notion. This is not that. I'm not interested in that red pill manosphere shit. I'm not. So please don't bring that into my chat room. Please don't bring that into my space because I'm going to stake your ass through the heart when you come in here with that. You getting the fuck up out of here. My moderators are here. I don't know if Miss Devon is here. I don't know if View from the Man Cave is here. Please, if you see these niggas in here, please get them up out of my chat room with that. I don't want that in here. That Hebrew Israelite shit, that I don't want that in here either. I don't want that in. I respect your religion. I respect your religion, but when you come in here with that because that is a dog whistle. That red pill shit is a dog whistle to a lot of these hotel Hebrew Israelite niggas. Nope. You're welcome to share any ideas, but I do not want that type of vibe polluting a discussion. I'm trying to have a fruitful discussion about an issue that I've looked at, that I've examined. So if that's what you in here on, please don't come in here with that. Please don't come in here with that. Don't come in here with that Hotep shit. Don't come in here with that Hotep Hebrew Israelite shit. I'm bouncing you up out of here. So anyway, back to what I was saying. You come into these relationships with these children and you start thinking that this man, now you want to hold out for a white man. Get serious. Get serious. The best you're going to do is a black or a white Lester Diamond, or if you find a man that want, uh if you find the cat at the post office, if you find Donnell at the post office and he wants to holler at you, you need to run. You need to, if you find Donnell at the post office and he wants to holler at you and he takes you seriously and he's good with your kids, that's the nigga you need to be cuffing. That's the nigga you need to be trying to, that's the nigga you need to be hollering at. That's you. That's you. The uh, grade school teacher, the elementary school teacher, that's the dude. That's you, boo. That's you. The elementary school teacher, that's you. That's your hypergamy right there. That's you. The elementary school teacher, that's you all the way. The general manager at McDonald's, that's you all the way. But I know you're going to fall back and say, well, what happens if I'm not sexually attracted to him? Okay, then stay out here and take whatever the market has to give you. If you're not sexually attracted, then stay out here and keep looking for sexually attractive niggas. Tell me what does that get you? Stay out here and continuously look for niggas that are sexually attractive. You've done a bang up job. That's worked good for you so far, right? What has it gotten you except a bunch of damn yeast infections and a whole lot of children out of wedlock? What has that gotten you? You want sexual attraction, right? Because that was another comment that somebody left on my. So I get it. We're just supposed to date men with it. Oh no, I'm not telling you. Keep searching for the men that are sexually attractive. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep playing musical dicks. Keep playing musical dicks. Keep putting mileage on your pussy. Keep doing it. By all means, please continue to do that. Please continue to lie to yourself. Please continue to believe that some white man that's going to come along and save you and your 5 children. Carl at Burger King or at Wendy's, the general manager at Burger King or Wendy's, that's you. Because at least he has medical and dental. At least you can get your kids' teeth pulled. At least he can afford the school uniforms. That's you. That's you. That's you. You want sexual attraction? Okay. There are a bunch of Jodies out here. There are a bunch of Jodies out here. But remember, in Baby Boy, Sweet Pea married his woman, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think he got saved. I'm sorry. In real life, he married that woman. In real life, he married that woman. But you never did see Jody marry his woman. You just saw him give her another baby, didn't you? You just saw him give her another baby. He didn't marry her. He just gave her another baby. So if you want to go off sexual attraction, be 40 years old and still going on sexual attraction. Be 50 years old and still going on sexual attraction, going off sexual attraction. Hit the wall and still talk about sexual attraction, because the dudes that you're sexually attracted to are not going to be sexually attracted to you. They're not. They're expecting you to bring, when you 50 years old and you out here, this is what happens if you want sexual attraction. The nigga expecting you to bring the weed. He expecting you to bring the booty and the condoms. All you want is sexual attraction. So by definition, he ain't got to bring nothing but dick. You got to bring the condoms. You got to bring the beer. You got to bring the wine. You got to bring the weed. You got to bring all of that shit. He ain't got to bring nothing but dick. Why? Because you hit the wall. And when you hit the wall, the only thing you want is sexual attraction. So if all you want is sexual attraction, that's what sexual attraction gets you when you're in your 40s and 50s. Truth be told, that's what sexual attraction gets you when you're in your late 30s. But you can find a white man if you come to the BDSM community. It's a bunch of white men that want black women as fetishes in the BDSM community. So you can come there and find white men that way. You come there and try to find a white man that way and try to make him your husband by finding him in a fetish community. You can go out the world ass backwards like that. So, oh, and that's another thing. The older you get, the closer to that 75 you get too. Because that's what he's going to pay you, 75. That's what you worth. That's what your sexual market value is. When you have a bunch of children by niggas and you can't close the deal and you don't get married, you become the new 75. There will be a nigga like me waiting on you. There will be a nigga like me with 75 or 100 or $150 waiting to make a deal, waiting to strike a fair exchange with you. There will be somebody like me waiting on you when you get old. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Tony, that's bottom feeding. You're right. You're right. That is bottom feeding. And you at the bottom. Yes, you're right. You're at the matter of fact, we're both at the bottom. If you want to be 100, if you want to keep it 100, we're both at the bottom. We're both at the bottom. And I'm feeding off you. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Because you're at the bottom and you refuse to recognize it. So this idea that you're gonna find this white man that comes, no, he's not coming, boo. He's not coming. He's not coming. He's not coming. Your Tom Willis isn't coming for you. And who was Tom Willis? Tom Willis was a successful publisher. He worked at a publishing company. You can obviously see him. He didn't have the quote unquote the quote unquote word we call swag. He didn't have swag. He was a really white man. He was a really white man. So in that instance, maybe Helen found a genuine husband. Maybe he found a genuine husband. Excuse me, maybe Helen found a genuine husband. Maybe she found someone that really loved her. But how many Tom Willises do you think are out there for you? Really, really though. How many Tom Willises you think are out there for you? Ask yourself that question and be honest. I'm getting over a head cold. I'm getting better, Naima. Thank you for asking, sweetheart. But anyway, how many Tom Willises are out there for you? So what you're getting when you call yourself moving on up, you're getting the liberals and you're getting the rebels of the white community. Unless you're like Candace Owens, you're getting the suburban white dudes. She cashed out. Candace Owens cashed out. And you can think what you will about her politics. Think what you will about, how she looks. Candace Owens found her suburban white dude and she cashed out. Now you can feel some kind of way about her position. You can feel some kind of way about what she said. But as a woman, she did what she was supposed to do. She did what she know most of you niggas didn't have nothing for her. So she found a white boy that cashed out. She found a white boy that cashed out, and that's what she's supposed to do. Beth Blog says, I don't know who Tom Willis is. God, I'm showing my age. The Jeffersons. Most people here know who Tom Willis. They know the television show The Jeffersons. Go and check out that TV show. So let me get on the niggas now, because y'all have promoted this idea that these women are just here waiting on you. Let me tell you what happens. Water seeks its own level, even if you cross racial lines. And I know that causes niggas quite a bit of misery and quite a bit of discomfort, but it's true. What will happen is, and I know this because I work with their children, I work with the children of interracial couples, and that's a mess. That is a mess. It is a pure mess. It is a hot mess. When two strike Timmy, when two strike Timmy gets together with Trailer Park Trish, they have a bunch of dysfunctional mud puppies. I'm gonna say that again. When two strike Timmy gets together with Trailer Park Trish, they have a bunch of damn dysfunctional mud puppies. Because they don't do any better with these white women that in the trailer parks than they do with hood bitches that they swerve. A hood nigga's a hood nigga's a hood nigga's a hood nigga. If a nigga's dusty in the hood, he gonna be dusty in the suburbs. A hood nigga doesn't level up just because he changes locations. And usually when a hood nigga finds a white woman, it's two types of white women that he finds. Now he's a fetish too, and that's what he doesn't want to talk about. And I'll get on the so-called last chosen niggas in a minute. But a lot of these niggas, what they do is they go and become bulls for suburban or well-to-do white people. Does everybody in here know what a bull is? Put a one in the chat if you guys know what a bull is. Put a one in the chat room if you niggas know what a bull. If everybody in here knows what a bull is, put a one in the chat room if you guys know what a bull is. It's a lot of people just like that, Grand Admiral. They don't mind being a fetish as long as they can bust a nut. And these white women, they're not gonna leave their husbands. So you got a permanent slot. You got a permanent slot. They're not going to leave their husbands for you. He said, CD says some of it is a function of class status. Most interracial couples in my circle do fine. Yep, yep. But your circle, the question becomes, CD, is how large is your circle? And that's what we're gonna discuss here today. How large is your circle? But anyway, a lot of times what happens is that these niggas become a bull. Someone educate Miss Elise as to what a bull is. Somebody educate Miss Jade Elise as to what a bull is. So what happens is these hood niggas or these thug niggas or these working class niggas that have these quote unquote Derek Jackson type figures. White folks have a fetish for black penis. They have a fetish for the black buck. And it's really a perverted form of white guilt, is what it is. No, your circle is not large. There's only 20% of black men that are dating out with white women. So, no, that's not a large circle. I'm sorry, it isn't. But class does play a role. I'll give you that. So, you're half right. Anyway, they'll go find these niggas from the hood and they'll use these niggas to satisfy their sexual curiosities and fetishes. You'll hear a term called Queen of Spades. Ask them what that term Queen of Spades is. Queen of Spades is a woman that loves fucking black men. She loves not just fucking one black man. She loves fucking several black men at a time. Gangbangs. She loves to be in the middle of a black gangbang. That is a subculture of alternative sexuality. So a lot of women that they're talking about, a lot of women that they're talking about, that they're getting with, these are fetish based relationships. Now, what these women will do, and their husbands are into cuckoldry, they're borderline bisexual and homosexual too. So what happens is some white women that will cuck their husbands using a nigga. Some of them will even go so far as to move the nigga in the house with them when they with their wife, but they taking care of the nigga like he's a child. They're taking care of the nigga like he's a child because what he is he's a paid dildo. He's a walking dildo. He's a walking dildo. Shout out to LAR. LAR is in the room. Shout out to LAR. My brother's in the room. Hey, LAR, we may open this up in a minute. We may open this up in a minute. So I may want you to come up here. We may open this up for discussion because we always have a lot of fun. So let me know if you want the link to get on, and I'll send you a link. I may open this up depending on how it goes, depending on how it flows. But anyway, um, these niggas are fetishes. So that's a lot of times that's what they're talking about. This is a way by which they cuck their husbands. Now, what is the other type of uh what is the okay? All right, LAR, I'll get you a link in a minute, bro. What is the other type of fetish we got here? What is the other type of um situation, these dating relationships we got here? What's the other type? The other type tends to be these dudes who say, well, they're leaving Blackistan and they getting away. But here's the thing: the bulls are getting the most attractive white women. These niggas are saying, here's the thing: they will swerve the blurs or the plain Jane blurs just to go get a white blur. They'll go get a white counterpart to the black blur, and they'll be totally happy with that. They'll be totally happy with that. Now, does it mean if they have money? Does it mean that if they have money, they can't go get, a hot white girl? Of course, they can go get a hot white girl if they have money. But most of these niggas don't. They're not balling like that. They're not. They're not. The average dude who is in IT, okay, he makes about $85,000 a year. That dude is not gonna have no hot white chick. The IT dude, he's not gonna have no hot white chick. What he is gonna have, he's gonna have the white girl that's making $85,000 a year that's in IT. He's not gonna go and find some hot white chick. No, he's gonna go and find a white chick, the same type of white chick he would find if he were anywhere else. Renaissance Man said, being an upwardly mobile black man, white women will come up to you. I never said that wasn't true. I'm talking about the caliber of women. I'm talking about the caliber. An upwardly mobile, educated black man is not going to find a bitch that looks like Pamela Anderson. He's not going to find a bitch that looks like Sarah J. He's not going to get a porn star looking white woman. You're going to go get the same homely looking white girl you would have gotten were you in the black community. The same woman. You niggas are trying to date like athletes. That's what it is. You think that you can date like a LeBron, someone who has LeBron James' status, someone who has Kobe status, or someone who has what's another one of these basketball players? I can't remember their names. I don't even watch basketball, but someone who has Terrell Owens status, someone that had, and he's a football player, Terrell Owens status, someone that has Donovan McNabb status. No, no, no. You won't date a black six, but you'll go get a white six and gladly cash out with her. So you'll gladly break bread on a mediocre white chick, but you won't break bread on a mediocre black chick. That's what you're doing. The businessmen and athletes tend to have the hottest women. Now, if you are a rich black man and you don't look so well, money cover the distance. As far as, I'm not saying that it isn't. Of course you will be. But I'm not speaking to that man. I'm talking to the guy that's making 40, 50, 60, even $80,000 a year. The IT guy. The IT guy. The IT guy is not going to get Pamela Anderson, Renaissance man. He's not going to get Sarah. You're not going to get Sarah J or Lisa Ann, Renaissance man. No, you're going to get the same chick you would get if she were black, but she's just going to be white. It's the same shit. So what happens, back to my original thing as I was going in, when these hood niggas get with these chicks, they're either as cuckold, excuse me, they're either there as bulls or they're there as substitute baby mamas. So there are white hood rats and there are black hood rats. Now we only dramatize. We only dramatize. I'm not talking about the white IT guy, CD. I'm talking about black men. Please stay on topic. Yes, Sarah J, the porn star. Yep, that's who I'm talking about. That's who I'm talking about. Because you niggas love beauty. Remember, you love beauty. Beauty is everything to you. Okay, so that's the ideal shape that black men tend to go for. So yes, I'm talking about Sarah J, the porn star. Anyway, um, when these hood niggas marry or date outside the race, they go get a white hood rat. They go get a white hood rat. They go and knock up a white hood rat, and they do the same thing to that white hood rat that they do to black women. The same thing they do to the black hood chick, they do to the white hood chick. The same thing he's gonna do to Big Booty Keisha, he gonna do the same thing to Trailer Park Trish. He gonna do the same thing to her that he did to Big Booty Keisha. And their kids are gonna be just as fucked up, if not more fucked up, than the average hood kid, than the average kid that is the product of a hood bitch and a hood nigga. It's the same shit. He says, my point is IT. I'm not, because the point is, it's not about white boys. This is about swirling for black men and black women. That's the point. So that's what you're missing. That's what you're missing. I'm not talking about IT white boys. I'm talking about IT black boys because the discussion is about swirling. Read the title. Read the title before you ask questions. All right. Walt Joe 100 is here. He says, I see more hood brothers cuff white and Latino chicks. That's true, Walt. They will cuff white and Latino chicks. But those marriages tend not to last. Those marriages tend not to last, just like a lot of marriages among low class white men and low class black women, or lower income. Let me not say low class, lower income black men and lower income black women. The hood is the hood is the hood is the hood is the hood. So yeah, you're gonna see more hood niggas cuff them, but their children are worse than these hood kids. They're worse. They have all type of personality disorders. They have all types of issues of cultural estrangement and confusion on top of parental issues, on top of daddy issues, on top of mommy issues. I know because I deal with them every day. Every single day I deal with them. So just because they go and get a white woman, ask yourself what kind of white woman that they're getting. When they say that shit, ask yourself what kind of white woman are they getting. Ask yourself what type of white woman are they dealing with. And I guarantee you, it's the same type of woman they would have been dealing with had they stayed in the black community. It's the same type of woman. So these successful black men, yeah, they will have a shot at hot black women. They will have a shot, but it's their money. But here's the thing: if you don't have a problem with your money being a draw among white women, why would a black woman be a gold digger if she coming after you for your money? So if the white woman is attracted, if the white woman opens up options because you have money, and you don't see anything wrong with that, but if it opens up your options among black women, now they become gold diggers. So she ain't supposed to want money, but it's perfectly understandable and fine for the white woman to want money. Explain that one to me. So if a black woman wants money, she's a hoe. If a black woman says get the bag, it's game. But you will freely give the bag to a white woman that you know wants the bag, and that's just fine. You call that having options. So I don't I don't understand that. I got another live one in my room today. He says, but if they're both unable to pull, then why single out the brother? I'm singling again. Look at the fucking title. I'm singling out the brothers because this is about swirling. Unless I'm missing something, you are missing something because this is about swirling. I've never heard black men suggest a 75K IT brother could pull a Pamela. That's exactly what they've been suggesting. That's exactly what they've been saying. You are missing something. You're missing the entire fucking argument. They're saying that if they cross over, they get a better grade of woman. I'm saying that that's not the case. I'm saying that they get the same type of woman that they would get had they stayed in the black community. That's what I'm saying. That's what the fuck you missing. But if you have money, can you afford more white women? Can you afford more attractive white women? Yeah, but just like you can afford more attractive black women. But a black woman is not supposed to want money. Just money is reserved for the white. Your bag is reserved for the white woman. That's what you're saying in essence. Your bag is reserved for the white woman. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Renaissance man said, Tony Maceo, should you hold your own women to the same standards as foreign ones? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. But you don't. Y'all let foreign women get away with murder just because they're foreign. Just because they're foreign. Foreign women want you for money and you don't have no problem with it. But when black women say they want money, it's like the goddamn sky is falling. It's the end of the world when a black woman says she wants some money. But you'll go to these poor countries where these other women want money and you're perfectly okay with that. Dane Christopher said, I have to disagree. Gold diggers are universally despised by men. You niggas place a special emphasis on it when it's black women. So don't give me that shit about universe. It's universe. No, no. If a black woman, for instance, Nicole Michelle has been up here talking about securing the bag, and you niggas revolted in horror. In horror. And you start talking about, oh, how all this is game. All of this is just, it's fake femininity. But then you'll turn around and say, well, if I have money, the white women will accept me. Excuse me? I'm sorry. Did I miss something? CD say, I haven't heard black men say they can do that. I have. All you have to do is open your damn ears and get on YouTube and listen to what they say. All you have to do is open your ears. I think most brothers are simply saying that they can get a white or six, they get a white 6 or 7 minus cultural dysfunction. No, they ain't even, they're talking about cultural dysfunction, but it's tangentially. What they're talking about is those white women will accept them. If they're successful, those white women will accept them. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. And the problem, and the one argument that I will give them is that black women tend to look at them as come ups and tricks. I'll give them that argument, but they're dealing with hood rats. Hood rats are going to see them as come ups and licks. Hood rats see them as tricks. Yeah, hood rats. But they will say they're not dealing with hood rats, but hood rats are the very type of people that see them as licks and tricks. But they'll say, well, they're not dealing with hood rats. That's exactly who they're dealing with. But they won't admit it. They won't admit it. LAR, let me know when you're ready. He says, LAR says, give me like 20 minutes and I'll be ready. No, let me know when you're ready. When you come back in the chat room, let me know you're ready and hit me with your email when you come back in the chat. When you're ready, LAR, hit me with your email when you come back in the chat. When you're ready, hit me with your email and I'll send you a link. Okay? Hit me with your email when you come back in the chat. Beth Blog says their money goes longer overseas. They can trick money they could trick money on women for months. Yeah, but it's still the 75. The 75 is the 75 is the 75. No matter where you go, it's still the same 75. Now, what you're saying is the currency value. Okay, their currency's in the trash, so the dollar's longer, but it's still 75. Instead of getting one, now you can get four for 75. It's still 75. Still the same 75. Still the same thing. Still the same thing. It's no different. Dane Christopher said the secure the bag phrase was popularized by the City Girls. Shira71 uses the phrase all the time, and her stance is to use men for their money. Now, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. We're on one part. Go back through again. Let's deal with a little bit of comprehension here. Listen to Nicole Michelle's podcast and listen to Shira. I don't listen to Shira 7, so I couldn't tell you. But if a woman is saying use men for their money, is Miss Nicole saying use men for their money? Are the messages the same? Are the messages the same? So if the messages are not the same, then you have to conclude that the platforms are different. And if the platforms are different, then you have to put the women in different classes. Because see, let me tell you, Shira 7 is a hood rat that got lucky. Shira 7 is a hood rat that got lucky. See, you niggas are taking your cues from hood rats. And that's what I've been saying all along. Shira 7 is a hood rat that got lucky. If this is what she's saying, this is whole talk. This is some hood rat shit. Now, with that being said, Actual Factual is back in here today. He said your financial success should be an important component, and it should be, because there's no such thing as free pussy. There's no such thing as free pussy. It's just not. There's no such thing as free pussy. It just isn't. So your financial well-being and awareness is always gonna be at issue. I'm gonna be honest. If I don't have my money game at least halfway together, and my money game is not halfway together, I'm still working to get my shit together. I don't feel complete if my money game ain't tight. I don't feel confident if my money game ain't tight. I don't. I don't. Because how you handle and how you deal with money goes a long way to saying whether it's an indication of your competence. How you deal with money is an indication of your competence as a man because you have the responsibility of being able to provide. That is your responsibility as a man. So again, a lot of you niggas, a lot of you niggas are taking your talking points from hoes, thoughts, and hood rats, and you take that to be, and I understand because y'all think hoes and hood rats are feminine. Y'all think hoes and hood rats, and I know why you think hoes and hood rats are feminine. You think hoes and hood rats are feminine because your mothers were hood rats. Your mothers were thoughts. I get it. This is something you're not supposed to say, and it doesn't mean that we love our mothers any less. But a lot of times we know when our mamas was on some hood rat shit. We know when when our mothers were acting like thoughts and hoes. We know that. We know what that is. We know how that works. We just don't like admitting it. I have a question here from Renaissance Man. He says, so Tony Maceo, so you're saying all women are the same? I would never say all women are anything. All women are the same. That's the problem with brothers choosing non-black women. No, what I'm saying here is that we're in love with hood rats and we scared to admit it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're used to dealing with hood rats. That's the prevalent model that we see a lot of times in the black community. So the other women are invisible, and the other women are invisible because they're not advertising. They're not coming on camera with their titties pushed uh, on the camera. They're not advertising. They're not Instagram or booty models. So they're invisible. So most of the women we wind up dealing with are hood rats. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying we like hood rats because of the illusion of promiscuity, because of the illusion of easy sex. We fetishize the hood and we fetishize hood rats. That's what I'm saying. So the other women are invisible because this is the kind we're used to dealing with, because this is the kind we have the most experience with, either with our mothers or in the dating markets. That's what I'm saying. So I hope you get the idea or you get the gist of what I've been saying forever. See, this swirling shit, real time, it sounds good, but when you look at it close up, it's really kind of ugly. It's opportunism. That's my point. That's the point of this podcast. Swirling is not a land of milk and honey. There's no such thing as an easy relationship. There's no such thing as an ideal relationship. There's no such thing. It is no such thing. It's not. It's not. And what they don't tell you is a lot of those marriages don't even last. That's what a lot of people are not telling you. They're not telling you is that what they won't tell you is that those marriages don't last. So they end up with these children, not out of wedlock, maybe, but in divorce. And again, these children have all types of issues. They have all types of personality issues and disorders. I see these kids all the time, all the time. So it's not the land of milk and honey that it's been made to be. It's not. It's not. Miss Nicole says they want to control your vagina but don't want to marry you. So if you raise your standards, they can't mess over you. I think that's what a lot of these niggas. I think that's what they want the privilege to do. They want the. I said this before. They want the privilege to fuck bitch you. A lot of these niggas want to fuck bitch you. That's what it is. They want to be the first ones to shit on you. Let's just call it what it is. They want the right of first refusal. They want to be the first ones to tell you no. So until we start having and giving a more balanced view, until we start being honest about what it is we're doing in these relationships, none of this shit is ever going to work. Until we start confessing, and everybody has to confess. Everybody, not just the women, not just the women. The men got to start confessing too. The niggas got to start confessing too. Everybody should be confessing in here. Everybody got to start telling the truth. Everybody. Everybody needs to start telling the truth. Aisha Ware says, and this is proof to what I've been saying. Aisha Ware says, I don't really see a whole lot of old interracial couples. That's right, you don't, because those marriages don't tend to last. There was a unsung episode on the DeBarges. El DeBarge's mother and their father. What kind of father was he? What kind of father was he? He damn sure wasn't no Tom Willis, now was he? He was sexually abusing his son Bobby. Bunny had to drag him to the hospital to see his son that was dying of AIDS. The sister had to get him to come to the hospital. So you really think that these men are your saviors? Do you really believe that? I'm also noticing that a lot of these new wave relationships, a lot of these new wave relationships, a lot of these young white dudes don't want babies by y'all either. A lot of these new wave white boys, they don't want to knock y'all up. So when they leave, when they want to leave, they want to leave when they want to leave. When they want to jet, they'll drop you a little bit of change and then they're out. They don't want children tying you to them. They don't. They don't. They don't want to be tied to you by children. Shouldn't that tell you something? He want to lay with you, but he don't want to produce life with you. That shouldn't tell you where you rank in his order. That shouldn't tell you how he feels about you. And I understand. To the niggas, I understand what it's like. You valued for your sexuality. It's the only place where you have any power. You broke. In the real world, you ain't got nothing to offer. You don't have any political power. You don't have any economic power. You don't have any social currency. You're the last. You're the first disrespected and the last one protected. I get it. It's the only place where you can manifest some degree of power. Anywhere is in the bedroom. I understand. Sexual proficiency is a poor substitute for political power. Sexual proficiency is a poor substitute for economic power. But I know what you. I'm telling you, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, and that's not a model. That's not a model that you can follow, because again, only 20% of y'all are getting married, and your marriages aren't lasting any either. Your marriages are not lasting, just like black female relationships, the white men are lasting. Your shit ain't lasting either. But we don't want to tell the truth about that either, now do we? James S says, what is it like when it comes to extended families of these interracial marriages? Is there a lot of hate? What it is there is there are a lot of settlements. What happens is these white parents will begrudgingly accept their half black grandchildren. They will settle. They will accept their mixed children. You'll see a lot of white grandmothers and white grandfathers with their mixed children. Is something that they have to come to accept, just like Barack Obama's granddaddy had to come and accept his ass. They do it begrudgingly because they want to have a relationship with their grandkids and with their daughters. So it's sort of like a standoff. They reach a compromise. That's what I should say. They reach a compromise when it comes to their grandkids. That's what happens. But is the rest of their family gonna fuck with them kids like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not gonna fuck with them kids like that. Walt Jo says, many extended families don't accept the offspring. My ex-wife never met her grandparents. They don't fuck with you like that. Truth be told, if you are a white woman and you come from an affluent family and you fuck around with a nigga, you're done. You're disinherited as far as they're concerned. You the daughter that they had that nobody talks about. Oh no, the Fat Mac is in the building. The Fat Mac is in the building. What's up, Mike? What's up, Big Mike? The Fat Mac is in the house. But yeah, if you are here, if you're here, as a matter of fact, I might even send the Fat Mac a link because a lot of his broads are white. A lot of his broads are white. A lot of his broads are white. But yeah, they disinherit you. If you're a white woman and you marry a black man, he damn sure better have some money. If you're an affluent white woman and you come from an affluent family, you damn well better have you an affluent black man, because they're not gonna give him access to their wealth. It's not gonna happen. That shit is not gonna go down. They haven't spent decades, and generations building wealth just to turn around and give it to, some nigga off the block. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do it. Actual factual says, as a black man, I know I'm behind the eight, all socioeconomically. You're behind the eight, and from a paternalistic statute. But I actively work to solve that problem. Do you see the flaw? Do you see the flaw in your reasoning? I'll wait. No, I don't. No, I don't see the flaw in my. So you'll be waiting for a long motherfucking time, because my reasoning comes from direct life experience, and the studies back up my reasoning. So no, you can keep right on waiting. Next question. Uh, and I want to make sure I get all your comments, because I saw one of your little slick comments after I logged off yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to address it. So I want to make sure I address it every time you bring it up. So if I miss it and I don't address it, put it back in the chat room so you can make sure I see it. Because that's another thing I don't like. Oh, okay, not me. Okay, I'm glad you cleared that up. That's another thing I don't like. I don't like slick ass comments that come that I don't see, that I don't get a chance to address. I don't like that. Oh, you was responding to a young lady. Okay. Okay, it's all good. 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 Speaking of Fat Mac, we got speaking of interracial relationships, there's a buddy, well, there's Mac's buddy. He is also a part of Mac City. He's known as the side trickster. He's known as the side trickster. And of course he is a trick extraordinaire beyond compare. And Mac City doesn't mainly deal with white women. It doesn't mainly deal with white women. Go to the site, check it out. Go to the site, check it out. It doesn't mainly deal with white women. Go to the site, check it out. There is a dude on there called the side trickster. The side trickster loves white hoes. He don't like black women. He loves white hoes. He loves to trick with white hoes. And it is a white woman on there. What is her name? I think it's White Tina, and another one on there, Simone the Ice Queen. Both of them are grimy hood bitches. They're really wiggers, but they're grimy. They're really grimy white bitches. And he loves their dirty thongs. He loves to trick with them. He loves their dirty thongs. But the black women are all hoes. The white women, the white hoes, the white trailer park trishes, they're just misunderstood. I always thought that was funny. The white hoes are misunderstood, but the black women are promiscuous. I always thought that was funny. I always thought it was funny like that. So he'll give the white women a pass for hoeing. He'll give the white women a pass for hoeing, but come down on the black women as they're natural hoes, in other words. They're natural hoes, in other words. And here are these white hoes trading notes with the black hoes. The white hoes and the black hoes are trading notes. They all running together. Simone ran with some more black hoes that he didn't like, but she was somehow different. Now, what he would do, I think this bitch moved. She moved out of the state once. She followed some scumbag nigga out of the state once, and that nigga left her stranded out of the states, and she called him to move her back, to pay for a U-Haul to move her back. You know, didn't give a shit about him, didn't call him, but when she got caught out of state with this other nigga, she called him to rent her a U-Haul and move her back. He paid for her bus ticket back. I mean, all kind of out of pocket shit that she done taxed him for. All kind of out of pocket shit that he would never let a black woman get off in a million years. But if it's white, god damn it, it's right. I mean, she could extort him. She could extort him. She could go in on him, and he will always give this bitch a pass. But if it's a black woman, he wouldn't take no shit off of. He would hurry up and swerve. He would jump over 2 or 3 big booty black women just to go deal with a white trailer park Trish. And she would tax him just as bad, if not worse, as the white as the black women would. And the white women were just as disgusted by him. The white women were just as repulsed by him as the black women were. But he would hop right over them. He would hop right over a black woman for a white hoe. And a lot of you niggas are like that. A lot of you niggas are like the side trickster. A lot of you niggas are like a side. When it comes to white women deserve money, but not these black women. Not these black women. See, there's one thing about the 75. The 75 is non-discriminatory. It's 75 for the black ones, 75 for the white ones, 75 across the board for everybody. Be consistent. But some of you niggas want the black woman to work for free, but you'll go pay a white hole's rent. As I said yesterday, some of these niggas up here getting Asian chicks out of massage parlors. They picking women that's out there giving happy endings. A bitch is in a massage parlor giving happy endings, and this nigga's wifing them up. But a black woman twerking, and now you talking about how nasty she is. I see you. I see you though. I see you. I get you. I get you. Black woman trick, she's the worst hoe in creation. White woman, Asian or white woman tricks, they can be redeemed as housewives. Black woman says trick, she's beneath contempt. Black women do the same thing, treat white men different, act different, even at their job. Black women do the same thing, treat white men different. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, and I don't think you do either. I don't think you do either. Black women look at white men as Superman. That's the man that's come to save them. That's what they look at him as. And the veganator told y'all how he sees y'all. The veganator told you straight up what he sees you as. He told you what he thinks about you. Is LAR in here? I don't even see him. Hold on, let me look and see if I see him. Let me see him. I don't see him. Okay. All right, LAR, let me send you a link. Let me send you a link, bro. I'm about to get LAR up in here. I'm about to get LAR up in here. Okay, hold on. This is going to be fun. I'm expecting this to be fun. Anyway. Oh, and thank you. I got a Cash App. Thank you to Cornelius for my Cash App. Brother Cornelius Edwards always supporting me. He's been supporting me since I was a writer at the Negro Manosphere. I also want to thank Brother Kwame XXX for his support. Thank you, brothers. I don't ever want to leave out, my faithful supporters. Shout out to those brothers. He was one of the few people that would read my articles. So he's always been a supporter from day one. Hold on. Hold on. I got your link coming right now, LAR. Give me just a minute. All right, LAR. I just sent you your link. Just sent you your link, bro. James S says, what does he say here? He says, Black brothers see white women as Wonder Woman. In a manner of speaking, yeah, but when you look at it from the long-term perspectives, the hood niggas see white women as a come up. But they just don't know that if she doesn't have much money, she ain't coming up very far. Or if she has much money, she ain't coming up very far because again, their daddies are not going to keep them in the will, not with your ass, not with you. That man don't want to give his wealth to you. He doesn't. They don't want you in their family tree. I didn't write the rules. I didn't make the rules. I'm just articulating them. I'm just explaining them. So I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. But it is what it is. Okay. So I sent LAR. LAR, I sent you a link. If you're in here, I sent you a link. So I'll be watching for you. Hopefully you'll come in here soon. I'm at an hour and 35 minutes. I don't intend to go very long, but I'm gonna wait on you for a minute. Exactly, Miss Jones. Exactly. That's a good point. Did anybody see the movie Life? Did anybody see the movie Life when the white woman got pregnant by Can't Get Right? And they were trying to figure out the warden was trying to figure out who the father was, and all of them stepped up and said they were the father because they were trying to protect Can't Get Right, and in the process they made Rose or made Land look like a hoe. Does everybody remember that scene? That's kind of what it was. And then when the baby, he was like, "Let me see that grandbaby. Let me see that grandbaby." And then when he saw that baby was mixed, he wanted all them niggas out there on the front line to confess to who was that baby's daddy, and it was Can't Get Right. Shout out to Rodney Ricardo. Thank you for your cash app, brother. So you have a lot of these people, again, they deal with the situation. They come to a compromise because of their family, but they really don't want you in their family. And he was like that warden. I wonder what that warden did with his black grandchild. Well, he accepted him. If he wanted a relationship with his daughter, he accepted him. He accepted him. And that's the same way these older white folks accept their grandkids. It's a compromise. They accept them. They don't necessarily want them, but they accept them. So now, where does this bring us? Where does this bring us? Where does this bring us? Do you guys really believe that swirling is going to be a solution for the dating market in the black community? Do you guys really believe? I want to know where he is too. I think I sent him a link. I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. He was just here. Okay, hold on. I'm adding him. LAR is here. LAR, can you hear me? He's in the chat room somewhere. He's here. He's here somewhere. LAR, he'll come in, I guess, at some point.
Okay, there we go. My
Oh,
bad.
okay. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. What's happening, fam?
Nothing, man. How you doing?
Mr. 75 still moving.
Oh, okay, all right, all right.
What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Nothing. I'm sweating, but I'm good now.
Sweating?
Yeah, man. You know the goddamn grass, man.
Oh man, yeah.
So let's break these people's hearts real quick.
Yes, please, by all means. Let the breaking commence.
So if y'all want to swirl, that's cool.
Yeah.
But see, I'm gonna talk it from the negative part about it. Water seeks its own level.
Exactly.
So stop acting like if you get with another group, because a lot of us are swirling because we act like we better than black people.
Oh, wait. You got to say that again. You got to say that again.
A lot of us are swirling because we think we better than black people.
A lot of us are swirling because we think we better than black people. Uh,
So let me go get some of them because I'm better than these niggas. So when you come in the room and you hear you're not like the rest of them, you take that as a compliment.
yeah.
You know. So now you wanna, I'm messing with them. Okay, cool, no problem. But see, here's the problem with that. If you think you better than us and they think you not like us, they gonna let you know how they really feel about us.
Right.
And you're gonna be uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Well, here's the other thing. You think you better than us, but here's my question, LAR. You think you better than us, but then they think they're better than you.
Right.
So where does that leave them, though?
This is where, the heartbreaking must commence.
Oh, okay.
Because now you're trying to prove to them that you just like them. But here's the thing. Like I said, you said the same thing in a different way. Water seeks its own level.
Yep.
They ain't no better than you. They just happy that they can treat you like you beneath them. You just low-key made yourself their slave.
Yep.
Their errand boy. Their footstool.
Their lawn jockey. Yep.
This is why a lot of people complain about what happens when they interracially date. Because one of the other things is this is love. No, it's not.
Wait, LAR, did you say they complain when they're in interracial relationships?
Yes.
That's not what they say on here. These niggas make out interracial relationships to be utopia. That's the promised land filled with milk and honey. That's how they make it out to be, bro. They make it seem as though they don't have any problems when they leave the race.
That's bullshit.
Oh, it is.
See, the only way you don't have problems is if you never wanted to be around us in the first place. And you never liked us in the first place. See, I was clowning with O'Shea a while back. I said, I could tell the guys and the girls who are like this because they'll be with somebody of another race in their relationship and look at me with disgust when they see me in the same area.
Wow.
I ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
Wow.
And I ain't talking about a disgust because I'm there. I'm talking about a disgust because maybe you could get it too.
Competition. Is that what you're talking about? Competition?
Absolutely.
Oh, so he may take that Becky away from him. That's what you're saying?
And the same thing with the women. When she's with the guy, then she's like, wait, if you around here, wait a minute. So all of y'all ain't. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh your God. See, a lot of people don't want to say this, but you talk about it before. A lot of people feel like they slumming with each other.
Yep.
But now I hit a deluxe apartment in the sky with this other person.
Exactly.
Not realizing your lifestyle might have went down. Because if we're going to truly be honest, take this love part out. Because the vast majority of interracial relationships aren't about love. They're about a love for being fetishized or being a fetish, but they're not about love.
Exactly. No doubt. People, I think they actually like being, like you said, they love being the fetish.
Yeah. And a lot of people they love being it, but they don't want to admit it. Because like I used to I had some female friends and I pointed this out to them and they didn't want to admit this. And I told them, I was like, oh, y'all got a thing for white guys. They're like, no, we don't. I'm like, yeah, you do. Like, why would you say that? I said, let me explain something to you. If I see you in public and black guys around, you try to ignore them. If I see you in public and white guys around, you walk up to them and start having the conversations about random shit.
Yep. Yep.
So
absolutely.
And he don't have to be all this physical specimen, and he don't have to have he can have a Fred Sanford truck. He's a mechanic. Yep. He can work with his hands. Oh, okay. This is about. Okay.
With a dirty ass, greasy red and black Mackinac. They don't give a
Mm-hmm.
shit. Yep. Yep.
But people don't realize people who and I say it for black people this way. It's like dating black people from other nationalities.
Right.
They don't necessarily want to date us first, but if all else fails, we'll be the last choice.
The fallback.
So it's the same thing when you interracially date. The person who get with you, trust me, don't nobody want them in their group. So you all they got left.
You won by default.
Right.
Damn.
There ain't no competition because don't nobody want them.
Wow.
Now, a lot of people want to mix this up where, okay, and I've said this before. I see a lot of interracial couples now that are fine, attract like that beat the stereotype, right?
Right.
But I tell them it's a caveat. That's a class thing. See, if you're in a certain area of a certain class, you're gonna see people who, like I said before, water seeks its own level or in the same class. And what people don't realize is women want men who are productive. And if you happen to be of a different race and you're productive in a productive environment, you got a shot. You ain't gonna be number one pick, but you got a shot. The women have the same issue, but nobody wants to take into consideration something. If you ain't the number one pick, you're gonna get treated like you ain't the number one pick.
You're gonna get treated like an option instead of a priority.
Exactly. You're not the number one pick. And that's where a lot of people wanna play this game, because truth be told, what it really is, and I can say this for the men and women a lot of times. You don't want to date a black person that you think act like a white person, but you want to date a white person that you think act like a black person.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Because the cultures don't mix. I don't care what people tell you. They just don't mix.
Well, that's exactly why you'll find a lot of these. I spoke about that earlier. White people's desire to fetishize the alien, the foreign. You know, usually when it's with Asian people, it's called Orientalism. So they practice a type of Orientalism with niggas in the hood. You know, so usually when they find somebody black in the hood, you know, that's them, as you would say, slumming, but that's that kind of, you know, fetishization, you know, of their culture. Not any understanding of their culture, it's a fetish of their culture. So then you have a lot of niggas that will say, well, when I get with a white woman, it's different. And then when you look at the white woman that they got with, and that's the point that I was trying to make earlier, when they get with a woman, a white woman, the white woman, that goes to your point, acts like a black woman. They go get a wigger. That girl who I spoke about earlier when I was talking about side trickster story, Simone, the ice queen over at MacCity.com. Go to MacCity.com. Go to MacCity.com. That girl, for those photo shoots, Mike had to make her be a white girl. Because she walked around with cornrows in her head just like a hood rat. She walked around twerking and acting like a hood rat. She was a trailer park Trish, you see. And the thing is like a lot of dudes they'll swerve Big Booty Keisha, but then run right under Trailer Park Trish. And Trailer Park Trish is nothing but the white version of Big Booty Keisha. That girl had cornrows down her head. She talked like a nigga, you know. And there was another girl on there just like that. I forget what her name was on MacCity.com, where Mike said he actually put on there under her picture. He said, "Here goes another wicked chick that thinks she's blacker than Malcolm X."
And you know what?
You know,
and a lot of times we do this in general because a lot of people don't realize this, and I don't even like saying this. Black culture ain't nigga culture.
That's right.
So what winds up happening is people who are not black emulate gangster rap.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's what the MGTOW said. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what
No.
the MGTOW said, that we were the original Red Pillars. We were the original MIG. And you know why they said that? They said that because of gangster rap. They said that because of gangster rap, because of the lyrics, the bitch and hoe lyrics in gangster rap. And I'm saying, wait a minute, you don't know anything about Jelly Roll Morton. You don't know
Mm-mm.
anything about the tradition of the early blues men that have been critiquing male-female relationships. Jelly Roll Morton is dirtier than Eazy-E and NWA, but they don't know who that is. Bobby Rush is just as nasty as any rapper you want to hear out. As a matter of fact, he got strippers on stage with him. They twerk into the blues. You understand what I'm saying?
But they don't
But
have no idea about none of
they don't
that.
have no idea. They picked the worst part of black culture to identify with.
What's
They,
that old blues song? I forgot how to sing it. The bitch get it all.
oh God, I remember that. I remember that song. I can't remember who sings it. I can't remember who sings it. I know what song you're talking about.
That was divorce court and family court 30 years at least before we talk about it.
Yep. Yep. Marvin Cease.
Yeah.
Marvin Cease. Mr. Candy Liquor. That's the man that came up with the
uh-huh.
name Jody. See, a lot of people from the South know who Marvin Cease is. They know what you mean when you say Mr. Jody doing his job. They know what that means. Yep. But again, they identify, like you said, nigger culture ain't necessarily black culture. You're right about that. You're right about that.
That's why if you black, you get insulted when people pull up next to you. But I don't do that no more. I ain't seen it in a while. But people pull up next to you, turn up some rap music, start bobbing like, yeah. You're like, bitch, I don't even listen to them. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but the hidden gem is they know, but they don't respect it.
Yep.
Because if we're gonna use music as a reference, you ain't gonna never hear gangster rap in the grocery store, but you're gonna hear black music.
Yep.
You ain't gonna hear gangster rap in the elevator, but you're gonna hear black music.
Yep.
You know, you're not gonna hear gangster rap when hold put you on hold and waiting, but you'll hear black music.
Yep.
So people act like, you know, and this is part of the issue with swirling. You wanna get out of the race because truth be told, you are above the quote unquote niggas, but the black people don't fuck with you because you a sellout.
Mm.
You don't want to talk about that part, that the black people really not fucking with you like that. You know,
You're a racial reject, in other words, a cultural castaway.
yeah.
Mm.
And even in the fetishized part, see, the guys don't necessarily have a problem being fetishized, but the women do.
That's true. That's true. Because these niggas ain't got no problem with being bucks. They're
No.
telling the heartbeat. It was a nigga in the chat room that said he don't have a problem being a buck to bust a nut. He actually said this in the chat room today. He said he don't have a problem with that. You know, but the women, they're sensitive about being perceived as the ultra feminine whore. You know,
Yeah.
in white society, they're very sensitive to that.
And they sensitive to, you know, because the guys don't realize, okay, let me explain something to y'all. If you don't have a problem being a buck, and this is why when you telling everybody to press 1, when you a buck, you are lower than a hoe.
That's a good point.
Because
that's a good point.
When you was talking about the Queen of Spades,
yep.
you don't show up in a room full of men because you want to get it off with a white chick. See, that ain't no, when you make that a black chick, that's a train and she a hoe.
Yep.
But these guys fish out black dudes who are willing to do this like it's some kind of conquest.
Yep. Yep.
It ain't a conquest.
Yep.
And you don't even have to, truth be told, you don't even have to go searching for this type of shit.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
That's the problem with some of us brothers don't realize, you know, every race of men has something to bring to the table. that's different than the other races. But here's the problem. When you are a sum of, when you become a tool, you need to take that as disrespect. You need to take it as disrespect, because this means, it's just like having a friend who shows up all the time when they want something.
Yep.
See, when they want a buck, they show up. When they don't want a buck, they don't talk to you. See, if they see you in public, they're not gonna talk to you.
They don't know you, and look at you and hope you don't say nothing to them.
That's a problem.
Yep.
And you can't go around being a white chick's hoe and call black chicks hoes.
Yep.
Can't do that.
That's a good point. That's a damn good point.
And yeah, I know these chicks are nasty. I could go to the mall right now, and it might be a chick in the side of a car giving a guy a head. I didn't seen it before. It's a white chick. But here's the thing. She's old enough to have her own place. She's old enough to get to so y'all can get a hotel. But she ain't gonna do it. Or if she have a hotel, she gonna set up a camera. Which means what? She paid you to come fucking leave. You became the hoe.
Yep.
If you want to know if you are in a power dynamic in that sexual sense, she ain't gonna want you to leave. But they don't never want you to stay.
Exactly. They never want you to stay. They never. And the strangest thing to me is that in those instances when they're married and when they have husbands, and the husband gets off, you're like this beast of burden. Their husbands get off on seeing you pound their wives, but then they never leave their husbands.
Right.
They'll tell you in a heartbeat, okay, so he's less than a man. I mean, think about what that's saying. He's less than a man physically, but I'm still not gonna leave him for you.
He's still more of a man than yours.
He's still more of a man than you. Yep.
And I can say this even in a regular race, there are guys who the bad boy image. When you go to married folks, a wife ain't finna leave her husband for the bad boy.
No,
she's not finna do it.
They never do. They'll swing an episode with your ass. They'll swing an episode, but they will never. They'll tell you in a minute. If you go, and I challenge anybody, go read those damn FetLife ads. One of the things in there, they'll tell you that they're looking for BBC. Well, they know that term is kind of stereotypical now. They know it's kind of demeaning. And so now they getting hip. They ain't using BBC no more. So now they're saying an endowed black man, and you got to be a certain. But they'll tell you, I am in a happily wedded. I'm in a happy marriage. I'm not leaving. This is in their profile. They'll tell you flat out, I am not leaving my husband. And they'll tell you, in some instances, they'll tell you, well, I will play, but hubby must be there. They make it plain that, look, I am in a happy relationship, or I'm in a happy marriage. I am not leaving my husband.
And fellas, I'm gonna say something that some of y'all who've been in these situations ain't gonna like, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you go into a room with another man watching you, yeah, he's suspect, but your ass suspect too.
Yep. Why you want another man watching you fuck a woman? I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. I have never understood why a man would want another man watching him stroke. I've never been able to get that. I've never been able to understand that. Cornelius Edwards says, so the dude is taking the 75. Yep. That's
Hell
what
yeah,
it is.
Taking the 75.
He's taking the 75. That's what it is. He is Mr. 75 now. He is the hoe. He's doing the 75 now. That's exactly what it is.
See, guys are, you say, okay, you'll say you're a mandingo. You're a buck. You got the wood. But it says something if it ain't good enough. If it's good enough to get sex, but it ain't good enough for somebody to want you. And you could say, that's not what I want anyways. Well, here's the problem. You as a grown-ass man should not be somebody's hoe on call. If you're going to say you a go-getter, you can get women anytime you want to. See, a lot of the guys that play that buck mandingo gigolo role, them just bitches on standby.
Yep.
Because they get accustomed to people. They gonna call me. They gonna talk to me. They gonna. It takes the go getter out of them.
Yep.
And then they become a show.
Absolutely. Well, that's what it is. A lot of times, it's a freak show. That's what it is. You are the circus animal. You're performing. You're the bull. You're the circus animal. This is a circus. It's not here. See, nigga go in there trying to prove himself to be sexually proficient. He's trying to prove himself to be sexually superior. They already know that you're sexually superior. That's why you're there. You're there because you're sexually superior.
And on a twisted level, and I say this about sports and entertainment. You also there to make sure nobody that look like you ever get hired.
Yep. Gatekeeper.
You also there to say, so if a motherfucker that looks like this came to my office with all the skills, this is the type of guy that'll be fucking my wife.
Yep.
But you're not thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about the brother who's in college right now, or who's got a trade right now, or who's starting a business right now. Y'all have similar traits. And now he can't get ahead because of your ass.
Yep.
Because it's one thing to call you up and be a hoe. It's another thing to see somebody with that's like you, that has a skill level of their husband in the same profession.
Absolutely.
This is where the guys fuck up. You know, this is where it is horrible. And the ladies, I can tell y'all, you know, here's where y'all fuck up. Because I just got on the guys' stupid asses for this. Let's see. Don't be a bad bitch for the black man and then all of a sudden be fucking Betty Crocker when you meet somebody that's not black.
Yeah. In other words, they become feminine when the man is white.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying earlier. When Eve was here and amongst niggas, she was a pit bull in a skirt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm wondering how she went from a pit bull in a skirt to being a tame poodle once she ran into, this white dude.
And that's the thing that they don't want to talk about. Because truth be told, and like I said this before, and it's sad to say this, because this is something that black men don't do. I know of a guy who has a swastika tattooed on his chest who bangs pretty much nothing but black chicks.
So, I'm sorry, you had to say that again.
You heard me.
You said that too fast. You had to say that again.
I know of a guy who has a swastika tattooed on his chest who pretty much bangs nothing but black chicks.
So he has the symbol, the neo-Nazi symbol, or the Aryan symbol, or the symbol that we know is Aryan or neo-Nazi on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And you telling me he bangs nothing but black women?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now I can't say that, it could have been a tattoo from a long time ago, and not necessarily he's changed, but he ain't overt like that. But bangs nothing but black chicks. And the thing about that is, I thought about, what is that, a movie? American
History X.
Mm-hmm. I thought about that, and I thought about, because Edward Norton is one of my favorite actors. And
right.
I'm like, I could see a guy like that banging black chicks. And then I thought about that movie with Gabrielle Union and fucking Renner. What is the guy's name? Something Renner. When she was playing, when they was in a crazy house, and she said she was the reincarnation of Hitler and he was a Nazi, and they became a couple. It was one of Gabrielle Union's first movies. what is that goddamn Renner dude? I think it's the same dude that played Hawkeye in Avengers. Something Renner.
Oh, okay. I don't know his name.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner.
So, and I see this and I've seen sisters, who got with white guys who got fetishized, and they just smashing them all the time. And then I get so tired of him just screwing me.
Wow. LAR, I got Scorpio of Rose here. What do you think about this comment? She says Eve is a tame poodle because her husband is a billionaire. Duh.
Maximilian isn't a billionaire.
Say again.
See, here's the problem. Maximilian, I don't think is a billionaire. He's a millionaire because he does the gumball.
Right.
He's not a billionaire. As a matter of fact, Eve was around more guys who had more money than him when she was rapping.
Right.
See, this idea that, okay, here's a problem. And I hate to say this, sisters, that when a white guy got money, he got more money than everybody else. He's a millionaire, but you made him a billionaire. But if it's a black guy, he ain't got nothing. He got a little bit of money. He ain't got it like that. He ain't got like da. See, let's talk about somebody who's I believe a certified billionaire. If a black man looked like George Lucas, you wouldn't want him.
Yep. Or he would be a lick. He would be a lick.
Right.
He would be a lick. Yeah.
Look at how this is how brothers got to be on point. Look how Dr. J looks. Dr. J is still fly as a motherfucker.
You talking about Julius Erving?
Yep.
The great Julius. We dating ourselves. Some of these people don't know who Julius Erving is.
Hey, Dr. J.
Wikipedia is your friend.
If you see an afro and a ball swinging way back against the Lakers, that's who we talking about. Right before Charles Barkley in Philadelphia. But there's a lot of brothers who have to do extra. You got to age well. You don't necessarily have to be white, Asian, or Hispanic and age well. Because they assume you got business acumen, even when you don't. And this is part of the interracial dating that people don't like to say. Just because somebody's of a different race does not mean that they're more successful than somebody in your own. You're giving people the gift of competence
before they shown that they actually deserve it.
Yes. And I was clowning a long time ago. I said, if you knew of a African country or Asian country that was $20 trillion in debt, would you consider them a failure? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you consider that a failure?
$20 trillion in debt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
But when we're in America and it's supposed to be white people, that ain't a failure.
You're right about that. Because that's the same way we look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump failed in 80% of his business adventures, but because he was able to get by off of his daddy's money and not paying the illegal immigrant help that was building his buildings, we say that he's a successful millionaire, so he knows how to run the country.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's why I like this situation, because it puts America on Front Street. This interracial dating puts America on Front Street, because how many times have you seen somebody in an interracial relationship wind up seeing somebody of their same race that are the same caliber at least class wise as who they're with, and then it's that looking like fuck. What is the excuse now? It's no excuse. I went out and seen women. I hate to say this, so I went out just to go get. I forgot, and I happened to be, and I see this sister and this white dude on a date. This guy is basically dressed like Peter Griffin. This chick is dressed to the nines. Purse, shoes, you know, everything. She looked like she got a 6-figure job and he's an assistant plumber.
Right. An assistant plumber.
Yeah.
An apprentice.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, thank you. And I'm just sitting there looking like you validated, you made that guy feel special because you gave him your best presentation. And this is the problem that we have as far as some of our people who want to date interracially. You want to bring your best self to somebody else, but you don't bring that shit to your own.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
ridiculous.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Y'all go. I mean, if y'all want to be honest, because a lot of people get on certain, that's no different. How can I say this? That's no different from you meeting a bisexual woman, but she acts one way with women and one way with men. If you think that's doing the same thing.
The same thing. The same thing. Same shit. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you want to date, if you want to date white people, Hispanic people, whatever, cool. That's not a problem. But understand something. You're not their first choice. And it ain't no disrespect. They were raised by their own. They've been around their own their whole life. That's their culture. That's what they're comfortable with. So if you were the best person that they've ever met, that's one thing. But it's normally not like that. You're not the best person that they ever met in their life.
Here's another question. Doc. Let me see who this person is. I want your input. Beth's blog said, the example you gave on Peter Griffin. She said, would it be better if it was a black Peter Griffin?
Yeah, because she wouldn't have dressed like that with a black Peter Griffin, though. See, I did say we was gonna break some hearts.
Go break it. Break them. I'm not trying to be popular. Break them. Break them. I'm not trying to be popular.
A lot of people are average or below average.
Yes.
This idea that I'm the shit. No, you not.
Yes.
So what if he's a black Peter Griffin? You a bad built chick too. Yep. See, we gotta stop. If you getting on Instagram and you got a man crush Monday, like I said before, or you got a women's crush Wednesday. First of all, do you match her crush? No. Do you have you dated people who look anything like your crush? No. Why is that? Because you average as shit.
Yep.
It's okay to just because somebody is physically average does not mean they're not the person for you. See, we keep giving ourselves credit, man. I'm an 8. 8 minus what?
8 minus what? Well, then here's the thing. Some of these people will be below average.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. They're below average, but they want above average or excellent partners. They want excellent receipts and above average receipts despite being below average people.
That shit ain't gonna work.
It never works. And so when I said before, I said, look, if you in this category, you have to pay a non-select nigga tax. You have to pay oh no, that's not true. No, that is, you have to compensate. You have to compensate because you're compensating because you're below average. Now, of course, the other part of that is the person that you're choosing may also be, if we weigh it out, may also be below average. So you got 2 below average motherfuckers. We
got above average egos with below average people.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
If we're gonna be honest, let's be just flat out honest with folks. Here's the thing. You do not want to be average with somebody above average or below average with somebody above average.
Yep.
Not just because of the looks in society.
Mm-hmm.
Your lifestyles don't mix.
Yep.
They had a long history of being above average.
Yep.
Your ass got a long history of being average.
Yep.
So guess what? When they get up in the morning at 5 and you get up in the morning at 9, problem number 1. When they get 15 things done in a day and you get 5 done every day, problem number 2.
Yep.
When you walking around showing everybody, hey, this is who I'm with, this is who I'm proud of, they do all these things, and they look at you like, you don't do shit. Problem number 3. See, a lot of us don't want to admit, you want somebody, same thing with this interracial shit. You want somebody that you perceive and deem as above average so they can make your below average ass look good in public while you drag them down.
Exactly. It's a status symbol.
And you can't get mad if they leave you. You can't get mad if they cheat you. You can't get mad if they tax you.
Tax. There's that word again. Tax. There's that word again.
Men pay financially. Women, you gonna pay with your time.
Exactly.
And if you want it, cool, no problem. But see, a lot of this interracial shit, some people nowadays do not want to admit you was a fuck up. So to hide that you was a fuck up, I'm gonna date another race of people. You are no different than what Eddie Murphy talked about, the chick that got a lot of bones in her closet. She moved to another town.
Yeah.
Don't nobody know her.
Yep.
You want to move to another race that don't nobody know your ass. It don't work. Just like when white chicks want black guys for dick, and I've seen that where they go slumming for dick, and now all she got is a grown dick in her house.
Yep.
It don't work. And then she go to the grocery store with her mixed kids. Black guys know that white guys know it, so she's completely. See, people don't want to talk about 2 things about this. If a non-black woman gets pregnant by a black man, she's written off with her grace. Period.
Yep, it's a wrap.
That's it.
It's a wrap.
And non-black men love black women. I hope you hear what I say. Non-black women love fucking y'all and getting y'all pregnant because for 2 reasons. The baby probably gonna look black and it's gonna get blamed on us. And for 2, yeah, because if it's light skin, it still don't necessarily count.
Yep.
But for 2, because your ass ain't gonna go hard in the paint and baby daddy his ass.
Sure ain't. Yep. Absolutely.
This is why those guys love smashing y'all raw.
No consequences.
And both black men and black women have raw sex. I can tell you the difference with black men. Black men, for the most part, with white chicks, love raw sex with white chicks because deep down, she don't want to have your black baby.
Yeah. Yep.
She's all that shit about I'm on a pill and a shot and it don't work. Black men know all too well with other groups of women. That's a damn lie. Because they take the hell out of their birth control. But I've seen so many sisters, acting like fucking so many kids and sisters acting like Keisha Cole and Bow Wow. My daddy's Italian. Bitch, your daddy black. Because we don't want to talk about it. When somebody say your daddy ain't black, it's you proud of that. My daddy is really. And use Keisha Cole as a reference. Her daddy's a pretty stand-up dude. When she found out who her dad was, she should have never claimed an Italian guy with that guy as a father. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep, I sure do.
But this is the issue. And then I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Y'all sisters can't complain about colorism if you're gonna talk about interracial dating. That baby gonna be black, but it ain't gonna be black like you.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And fellas, y'all ain't no better because here's one thing I do not like about that. I don't care if you get with a white woman, a Hispanic woman, Asian woman. But what I do care about is this. Bitch, don't roll out the red carpet and open your wallet and take her to all the best spots in the world. And then you want to get a Chick-fil-A that look like you.
Absolutely. But that's what they do though, dog. That's been one of my things. See, I've always said that the 75 was across the board. It's 75 regardless of race, creed, color, or national origin. That's always been my thing. But when they apply it again, like a lot of dudes will have a problem with giving Keisha, big booty Keisha 75, but they'll go and it's their right to do so. It's their right to do so. If you want to do it, do it. But they'll travel halfway across the country to give Raisin Titty Ray Lynn that same $75, and they'll pay $2,500 to give her 75. That shit confuses me, bro. That confuse and if they and the argument is going to be, well, we're expanding our options. We are looking at our options. We're exploring our options. We're successful, and we're looking. Okay, that's fine. Look at your whatever. Do that. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just looking at the irony of it. I'm just looking at that. So in other words, the girl that lives in third world countries or third world conditions up the block, you don't want to give her anything. But a woman that lives in third world conditions in South and Central America, you'll travel halfway across the country to give her the same money that you wouldn't give the bitch up the block. That messes me up, man.
Well, the caveat is something that you know all too well about the underworld. If you got to go out of the country and trick like that, 9 times out of 10, you that trick that was skimming prostitutes. So you dead in that market.
Yep. That's a good point. All the broads here know they on some bullshit. They done fucked up the market being scandalous, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They done fucked up the market on some nigga shit, on some hood shit. They done been extra grimy here, so they can't get the same shit off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
You know how bad, they used to have the little advertisements, no black guys.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
People thought it was just no black guys because the guys were just super rough sexually. No, they was always scamming these chicks.
Yep.
Yep. They didn't want to pay the 75, even when it was time to pay the 75.
And the 75 is the minimum.
Yeah.
It's the 75 that was the minimum. I would see that a lot of times when I would be advertising in the strip clubs. Like, they had the strippers had more respect for Muhammad, because Muhammad owned JJ's Chicken and Wings. They would get up off of you to go get Muhammad with JJ Chicken and Wings, whose name was Mike, because these Arab niggas, they always had American names so they wouldn't stand out, right?
Right.
Muhammad, his name is Mike. They jumping up off you to go jump on Mike, because Mike is going to pay that 75. Whereas a nigga gonna come in there, he's gonna have a fistful of ones, and it's $75 in ones and fives to make it look like it's a lot of money. Whereas when Mike coming in, he tipping in $20 bills. He tipping in 50. They may score a full bill out of Mike, but the drug dealers will come in with a handful of ones, and they'll make more money with Mike in 1 hour than they can make with the local $300 corner dealer in 4 hours. You will see a lot of money everywhere, but it's all ones. You'll see a whole lot of money everywhere. And then after he came with that fistful of ones, he's still trying to turn a trick in the VIP off that same $75 that he tricked with out there where they had on the runway.
See, a lot of y'all don't want to. You don't need to be a millionaire. But what you need to do is stop being the Grinch with your green when you know you're paying for it any goddamn way.
Oh, they didn't hear that. They didn't hear that.
Merry Christmas.
No, they didn't. No, you didn't. No, you
you
didn't.
you need to
No, you
stop being
didn't.
you because okay. Here's how it goes. If you got it, even if you got a budget and you got it,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't the fact that you giving it. It's the fact that you ain't tripping about parting with it.
Exactly. You
See,
never
she gonna
extend
realize,
what you can't stand to lose. Exactly.
yeah, like, okay, go ahead. See, y'all wanna let me explain something to you. You can't fish with no bait.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't the bigger the fish you trying to get, the bigger the bait.
But that's the thing though, dog. I actually believe some of these niggas think that they can go fish and drop a dry ass metal hook in the water and then
Well,
expect for the fish to bite.
see, here's the problem, and this is where and I'm a little different because of the city I live in, because it's more strip clubs in Houston per capita than most places in America. See, what people got used to was slut culture.
Yeah.
Just because she want to fuck you when she want to fuck you does not absolve you from being a man 24/7.
Right.
So if you got it, okay. It ain't the money, it's the work ethic that replaces the money. A lot of y'all chasing these chicks, and some of you women, y'all chasing the bag in the wrong way. But what you ain't chasing is the work ethic.
Yep. Yep.
See,
Yep.
you could get the bag, but you'll never but you can't get the work ethic. You can't replace that.
Absolutely. I
And
got
that woman, I'm sorry.
hold on. Rain and Woman says, are there any mods in the chat room? They may or may not be here, but at this point, I don't see any slick comments that require modding. If they do so, please feel free to point them out and I'll get them out of here. Second, LAR, what do you think of this that I have on the screen? Actual factual, this is my favorite. I think he just likes to dissent. I don't know if he's a troll or not, but I just think he likes to dissent. He says, hey, Maceo, a whole bunch of ones beats a whole bunch of nuns, sir. I think he totally missed the point. He totally missed the point that we were talking about, where we were talking about how, these niggas want to beat the system. They don't want to give abroad nothing. Whereas when these other dudes come along, they will tip, they will come in, they will chip in. Muhammad will tip with a 20. So it's not that they're not getting anything. They're going to where they think they will get the most bang for their buck. So it's not a choice between none and some. It's a choice between slim and none. So it's a slim chance they can get on with Mike. It's a slim chance they can get on with the 78-year-old white man who just wants face. It's a chance that they can get on with him. But if not, he's still gonna give them something. He's still gonna give them something. Whereas a nigga, he trying to sit there and make you drop $75, and then he trying to fuck you off that same. He want to finger you, then he want to have a gang bang with you, then he want to take you out to the car, and he want to do all this other shit. He want to take you home and bang you, and then fuck you, and then just release you before the sun come up. All of that off the same $75. Whereas if they tricking with Muhammad or they tricking with the older man, even if the older man don't trick, he's paid them enough money for their tip out. He's paid them enough money to pay the DJ. He's given them enough money to pay the club so they could at least afford a Whopper or a Wendy's triple when they leave the club. Versus a nigga gonna pay you just enough for you to be in debt.
Exactly.
And this is what I've actually seen.
Y'all don't. There's a big difference. I'm using strippers as a reference. There's a big difference than the man who shows up and throws ones on the stage.
Yep.
And then the guy who sits in a chair and slips her 20s on the low.
Yep.
Big difference.
Yep.
she gonna pick up them ones on the stage or ones wherever you at, because you throwing the ones so people could see your ass. The guy slipping her the 20s, you know, she sees his ass. And I'm gonna tell you how, and I'm true story, and I'm gonna tell you how this works. Years ago, my friends came to town. We went to a strip club out here. And it's sad to say this, but they was in a gospel convention that day and in that strip club that night. That's how they got down. Anyway, but we at the strip club, they having a ball. So what winds up happening is I'm paying for lap dances, but I'm sitting at the bar and just telling the girls where to go. So I'm just, hey girl, come here for a second. Do this. Do that. Him. Do this. Yeah. So it came to a point where I was sitting chilling with my whiskey, that the girl started dancing on the bar in front of me because they knew what I was doing. And I was like, no, take your ass over there and do that shit. Because and this has happened more than once, but I don't even like going to strip clubs.
Right.
But this is why I say using the strippers as a reference. If she realized you the one orchestrating her comfort, she gonna come to you.
Exactly.
She not gonna go to the motherfuckers that that she's entertaining. She gonna come to you.
Yep.
And guys gotta get that out of it. Get it out your head that you know what. Money is just a tool, but it's also one of those things where it just like it judges her character, it judges yours. Because if you can't never get nothing in life if you a Grinch.
Yep.
You got to be willing to take a risk and part with something and see if it comes back. A lot of motherfuckers like talking about dope boys and dope boy lifestyle. If you look at something Rick Ross used to say back in the day, he would give people work to see if they actually could make do on what they said.
Yep.
And he knew that all of them couldn't do it. So out of 10, one of them would get it and come back.
Well, and here's the thing, though. They think that, when he gave them that money and they didn't fall through, they think they got over. Right. They don't know to him that that's pennies. That money he gave them was pennies. He can make that back, you see, with little or no effort. They think that they've gotten over on him, but what he did was he just eliminated the dead weight. Because now when it comes time for him to make a move, you ain't gonna be on his squad. When it comes time for him to make that real score, and when it comes time for him to break bread from that real score, you're gonna be X'd out.
And I hope y'all understand that this reference when it comes to the interracial part. They know your ass is a traitor too.
Yep.
That's the prime suspect number one. They're not gonna break bread with you. They're gonna use you for a time.
Yep.
Because they know you ain't really. If you ain't down for your own, how the fuck you gonna be down for them? And if you black dating somebody white, you know that shit ain't gonna work.
And then that's why I'm saying that it ends up a lot of times, a lot of these interracial relationships, you have some of them that are wealthy and it works out, but those are generally the exceptions. When I work with the kids that I work with, the ones that I see, these are not wealthy parents. The kids that I see, these are from Two Strike Timmys and Trailer Park Trish's. They're the children of Two Strike Timmy and Trailer Park Trish. So when people say there's a class element to it, there is a class element to it. There is a class element to it. I'm like, okay, but you went all the way over here to get the same chick you would have got, the same chick you did get. So they'll go up and have a lot of children, with these black hood chicks, with these hood bitches. They have a bunch of children and then want to start over clean. They want to go to a clean page and then go over here with the white girl and then knock her up and have a bunch of children by her, a bunch of mixed children by her. Do you think that white people want that in their bloodline? Do you think they want that in their family? Absolutely not.
Let me tell you something. The only time white people first and foremost, do I know of interracial relationships that work? Yeah. And the reason why they work is because they live in the truth.
Yep.
They know I'm black. I'm white, I'm a man, I'm a woman. This is how America views me. This is how America views me. And this is how the shit gonna go down if we together. A lot of people can't do that though. A lot of people want to live a lie. And that's just in general.
Yep.
But the other thing about it is, even when the kids and stuff come to pass, how can I say this? Don't assume, because when you're black and you have kids with somebody white, you have to, all of a sudden, you got to explain to them the racism of America. They fucking knew it already.
Yeah.
They just have to deal with it with their kid now. That's the problem.
Yep.
They don't necessarily want to deal with that shit. They don't want their children dealing with that shit. And I can say something about sometimes kids that are mixed like that. One of the culture things that happens is they think they can get away with shit like white people and forget that they're going to be seen as black.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't get it. Granddad did it, and motherfucker, people don't view you like granddad. My mom did it. She's not your mom.
Absolutely.
She just walked in and took a bottle of wine and walked out. You walk in and take a bottle of wine and walk out, your ass going to jail.
Yep. And go get the county time. Go get the county time. They're going to get a diversion program, but you're going to get the county time. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a question here, LAR. He wants me to answer it, but I'm tired of answering questions like this, so I want to put this to you. He says, so what should an upwardly mobile black male do? Do you deny that on average it's easier to find a quality non-white black woman than a quality black woman?
That's okay. First and foremost, that's not true. What it is quality in America is rare, period. Now, femininity, our women have a problem with. Okay. You might have a harder issue finding a feminine
black woman.
Right.
But hell, they coming after the femininity coach.
Exactly.
They dissing the femininity coach. The very person that's teaching women femininity, that's the very one they raising hell with. You got all these hood rats on here to my bilk a man out of money. You got all these hood rats up here to my running scams and they don't date blue collar brothers. You got all these hood rats telling you never give a man a gift, but always accept a gift from him. Give his children $5 in a damn Christmas card. But the woman that's up here saying secure the bag, marry, and get a ring and have a family, you know, that's the one they attacking. That's the one they coming after. That's the name that's always in their motherfucking mouth.
I'm gonna have to say something that is so plain and simple that we should know this. That you can't be you can be an upwardly mobile black man, right? But here's the thing. As a man, you're upwardly mobile so you can be the head of a family. You're not upwardly mobile to just kick it. Or to be a leader or a businessman. You're not upwardly mobile just to be upwardly. You have to use that mobility for something that has a bigger purpose.
So saying marriage and securing the bag is a bigger purpose than just securing money just to be an eternal trick. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I just thought I'd check.
Yeah, because I mean and you know, I say I'm not really necessarily a fan of marriage, but I don't have an issue with commitment or responsibility.
Right.
So guess what? What the hell is you upwardly mobile? Like some of us do not want to grow old and look like the women that we talk about online.
Exactly.
We taking vacation and ain't doing shit with our lives.
Exactly.
We eating at restaurants and ain't doing shit with our lives. If you wanted to find a quality woman, I'm gonna tell you where she at. And it ain't the Black Awareness Rally.
Coming to America. Yeah. Coming to America.
Hey, that's an all-time great.
You can find a quality black woman, but it's not at the Black Awareness Rally. Oh shit! Yep.
you're gonna find her. If you feel like you a quality black man, you're gonna find her in the same motherfucking places you go. Guess what? Because you working, she working. She ain't got time to be around bullshit. You ain't got time to be around bullshit. But here's the caveat though. She might not look like a dime.
But that's the holdout, though. That's the thing they're saying. Well, there are plenty of attractive, but I'm just not attracted to them. I'm just not attracted to them. And my thing is, okay, if you're not attracted to them, beauty costs. And then when you said beauty costs, and then you said, well, step up and pay, just shut up and pay for it because beauty costs. Then all of a sudden now it's, well, I shouldn't have to pay. I look the part. I look like I'm not like him. But you ain't offering anything different than him. The only thing he offering is dick and a baby. And the only thing you offering is dick and a baby. So they'll tell you, well, I look this way, or I'm successful, and how does that success, if you're the woman, how does that success help her? Remember, Living Color, how can I use this knowledge to benefit me? How can she use your success to benefit her? And then when you ask them that question, these niggas turn into a wimpy from Popeye. I will gladly give you $100 Tuesday for some pussy today. They turn into, well, just wait until you see, just wait until you see. But they want some pussy from you right now. They want you to sleep with them right now. They want you to suck their dick right now. But they want capital. They want future returns. They want present returns for a future investment.
Can we? Oh man, you started something just now. Let's talk about attraction for a second. We as black people have, in my opinion, the most attractive people on the planet. We have a plethora of attractive people. And it's interesting to me that we have so many attractive people who people aren't attracted to.
We have so many attractive people that people are unattracted to.
This is interesting.
Oh no. Oh no. This is what I signed up for. Keep going.
Yeah, because everybody want to, like, a lot of times we want to talk about the fine person we want and the not fine people, the ugly motherfuckers that want us that we don't want. But we don't talk about the people in the middle that look good, but they just don't look as good as the fine person we want.
Yep.
And what we don't talk about is, and I used to see when I was younger, I was in college. My homeboys used to talk about girls, and I used to tell them how to, who was attractive or not. They'd be like, my method was weird to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say, listen, I get up for 8 o'clock classes. Be like, listen, the girl who comes in a jogging suit and has a band, and it's still, you can see her body is great, and she has no makeup on, and it's early in the morning, and she beautiful. That's the motherfucker you holler at. Not the chick that's dolled up at 8 in the morning, because that's the best that chick gonna look.
Yep.
And my homeboys be like, what? I said, watch one when we go out to these motherfucking parties and shit. That chick right there that you think just, she all right. Watch what happened when she put on a dress, some heels, and some makeup. You gonna wish you talked to her ass.
Yep.
They be like, look, what do you? I said, that little girl, that girl right there, that's skinny right there. You say she's too skinny. Like, yeah, she's 18 years old. She's not gonna be that skinny at 25. You could tell she's pretty. You could tell she got a shape, even though she's skinny. That chick at 25 gonna be that chick you chasing around right now. And like, how you figure that out? I'm like, dog, come on. One of the sports I played was track. So I saw how women's body developed. And I saw how, and the finest chicks was either track girls or volleyball girls.
Yep.
And you could see how they are when they work out stuff, and you could see how they are when they dolled up. Two completely different worlds. And you like, this chick just running the laps and she's fine as a motherfucker. See her in a dress and a miniskirt. See what happened. But we don't want to talk about, oh man, these people, so, they not who I'm attracted to. Bullshit. You got options. Like with it. The challenge I will find upwardly mobile black men is they will be more likely to have a casual relationship versus a courting relationship since they have so many options. That is very true, but there's one problem with that. An upwardly mobile man and an upwardly mobile woman want somebody that brings something to the table. If you compete and you stand out, motherfucker gonna get rid of everybody else.
Yep.
They're gonna get rid of. Let me tell you something. If a man meets a woman who is nice, who is pretty, she ain't gotta be the best looking, who cares about him, who cooks, who cleans, who's considerate, and who he could take out in public, and they can have conversations and interact with people, he gonna be with her.
Exactly.
Hey, fuck all these options. You don't throw away a keeper because you don't think she fine as an Instagram model. That's dumb shit. Same thing with you ladies. Y'all have a lot of options. It looks stupid as hell when y'all say shit like, oh man, I dated a baller, a rapper, a basketball player, an actor, a lawyer, a dentist. Bitch, you had all them options and you still here single?
And you didn't close the deal. So you were dating all, and they'll say that too. Well, I've dated, and they think they're helping their case when you say, well, look at your choice. You should have chose better. And the first thing out their mouth is, I dated them too. I dated them too. Well, I dated, a lawyer. I dated a real estate broker or a mortgage broker. I dated an investor. And so you came across all those chances to cash out and you didn't do it.
Problem.
Why?
Laziness. People hate that I say it, but it's laziness. Because guess what? It's very simple. If you like somebody, fucking act like it. Everybody is not a star. Everybody is not you might not be the person who is the star in the relationship, but I can guarantee you this. If you hook up with a star, your life gonna shine. You might not shine with them in public, but your life gonna shine. See, and I've been around people who had, success, fame, money, whatever. And this is where some of the people went wrong. Some of their wives went wrong. I'm not saying the guys were angels. Mm-hmm. But if you have a millionaire lifestyle and you could still go to the grocery store, you could still go on trips, you can still go to the mall, and you can get what you want and nobody knows you. You can raise your kids. You can be home every day. And you ain't gotta fight the world. You fucking winning.
Yep.
You can go aimlessly into the world every day. You winning. You don't need to be known. This is why successful businessmen never like showing their faces. This is why they like being behind the scenes, because they can go get coffee at Starbucks and still be rich as shit. And for the record, a lot of rich people, they drive average fucking cars, so they're not known.
Oh, say that again. Say that again, because I don't think they get that. See, they think rich people are rolling around in three-piece suits.
No.
They think rich people are rolling around in Testarossas and Maybachs and Porsches. They think that that's how the last thing a rich person wants is attention. That's the last thing they want is attention. Rich people value anonymity. They don't want you to know that they are the man in charge. Everybody else that needs to know knows, but they're not trying to flash. You're not going to catch them. They're not overly concerned about their image. Why? Because they have something called property. They have something called assets. They have something called wealth. So they don't give a damn about your perceptions. Fuck how you feel about them. You don't have any authority to make them do anything. You don't work for them. Excuse me, they don't work for
Mhm.
you. You work for them. So you have to wear that uniform. They don't have to wear that uniform. They're not concerned about their image personally. They may be concerned about the image of their company, but they can walk around. A white man can walk around in plastic golf shoes and tight checkerboard pants, and he's still gonna be respected. Whereas you can put on that suit. You can put on that suit. You can put on them cufflinks, and a bitch will still hit you with the ice grill. Will still hit you with the ice grill because they know the difference between true power and an illusion. They know the difference between true power and the appearance of influence. And that's something that we have not been able to get through our head. This idea that clothes make the man. Clothes, and I keep telling that is a damn marketing slogan. We take
Mhm.
marketing slogans as life lessons. Clothes, granted, appearance does says something. I get it. I get it. You do want to look the part, but if I am the part, if I am the part, I'm not selling myself. I am the part. If a person is the part, if he owns the company, why does he need to look like he owns the company?
Y'all don't. People don't understand that. People, because the thing about it is, a person. I'm gonna tell you something that, like I was telling this to a coworker of mine some years ago. A lot of rich people would do this. They may have a fly weekend car, but the most expensive thing that they'll buy as far as car is a car that regular people could buy too, but we fantasize about.
Right.
So guess what? You got a Suburban, he got a Suburban. So when you at the grocery store, you have no idea this motherfucker worth $100 million. But he in a Suburban.
He's in a Suburban.
Got the
He's in a
anonymity.
Toyota. He's in a Toyota Prius, a
Mm-hmm.
hybrid,
Or a Camry.
or a Camry. You pulling up in a nigga Corvette, the Dodge 300 with the big ass rims. If anybody has a fancy car, it's probably his wife. His wife may have a fancy car, may have a fancy car. That shit is usually reserved for her. But him, he's rolling around as inconspicuously as possible.
And people are like, well, how does that? Because he don't want to be seen. And here's the other thing. Do they have expensive stuff like that? Yeah, but guess what? If they take that shit out, they take it to an expensive event where everybody got shit too.
Yep.
So they're still inconspicuous.
They don't need to stunt. So in other words, if they got a Maybach or a Porsche, they're going to other places where other people have Maybachs and Porsches, and they don't stick out.
It's the same thing when I was talking to a coworker about watch culture. It's like, let me explain something to you. The most expensive watches are not gold. They're not just fully gold like a Rolex. You're like, what are you talking about? I said, listen, when you see those skeleton watches or the watches with those faces in it with an alligator strap or a leather strap, so when you flip them shits inside, when you flip them upside down, some of them have a lot of them have a glass back to them. Like, what does that mean? The inside of that is full of emeralds and rubies.
Yep.
That's why that watch is $100,000.
Not because of the gold. Yep.
I said, but it looks like a regular ass watch. I said, you know that little watch you go to Walmart and it has the sun and the moon on it? It's like, yeah. It's like it's a $200,000 watch like that too. They buy shit like that so you can stand right in your face and you not know it's there.
Yep. And hiding in plain sight.
He's like, what are you talking? I said, let me tell you something. People like nice stuff, but they're not stupid. Because who gets robbed the most is rich people.
Rich, yeah, exactly.
They don't go out to the police. The most, if you're looking for B&Es, guaranteed it's in the richest neighborhoods.
But when we think about B&Es, it's some grimy shit though, LNR.
Right.
See, in the black community, B&Es is a drug dealer robbing another drug dealer. It's on some dusty shit. You say when we think of home invasions, it's a nigga on the block robbing another nigga on the block because they're They're competing for the same spot. You see, so a lot of us we really don't know what true wealth is. I've come to that conclusion. Black people don't. We talk so much about money, but we don't even understand it.
And that's the and I can't fault us for that because shit, we've what 50, 60 years into actually being able to actually get into quote unquote the American dream.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one of the things that we need to stop doing to a degree, in my opinion.
Okay.
We don't have the history of legacy like other groups. We don't have that history. We didn't come from another country and people that had money, or come from another country with a family full of doctors. We don't have that shit. Whatever we built here is what we got here, and it ain't much. And because of our quote unquote our lack of knowledge of wealth, what do the wealth we do have? We fuck it off trying to stunt on people. And a lot of that wealth ain't ours.
Yep. It's credit. A lot of the wealth we stunting with is debt. We're stunting with money that's debt. You're stunting with debt. With debt. Renaissance man says, nah, our elders knew about money. Yeah, they did, but since when do niggas listen to their elders?
See, here's the thing. I'm glad Renaissance man said that. Our elders knew about money because they managed the money that they had. Who fucked it up after that?
I just got into an argument with someone else when they said that Generation X squandered wealth. I just had an argument with somebody about that yesterday when they said that Generation X squandered wealth. That's right.
See, we don't want to talk about the reality. Like, the reality is, if you black in America right now and you over the age of 30, family members who've had houses and the family lost them. You've known family members who had businesses and they died and the family fucked it up.
That's the point my friend made. He said they had wealth. We had wealth and the children lost it. The children squandered it. We had wealth and they sold it. And they bought up, for instance, Jet Magazine being sold. All these other businesses being sold, where that the kids and they were talking about one business, I think in New York City, that some millionaire lady had in New York City, and she passed it on to her daughter, and her daughter screwed it up. And I just had this discussion yesterday, so that was especially timely comment.
It's hilarious because like we don't realize, like what a lot of people are mad at is one generation left you money, the next generation fucked it off, and now you got to start from scratch.
Yep. Say it again. Please say it again.
One generation left you money, the next generation fucked it off, and now you got to start from scratch.
Yep.
And that's where the anger is. The anger is if you're the part that got to start from scratch, you're looking at the people older than you, telling you what you need to do it for the family. Why? So they can fuck off your money too.
Absolutely.
See, we like to talk about the crack era as if, but we don't talk. Okay, we talk about the crack era because it was detrimental as far as people getting high, as far as breaking up families.
Right.
But we don't talk about technically the Studio 54 type of era that was involved in the crack era.
Yep.
Was opulence and fucking off money.
Yep. The disco era. Yep.
Yeah. Because I clown with some of my homeboys and I tell them, I said, let me tell y'all the difference. This is why I don't like street cats a lot to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Some be like, I'm gonna tell y'all what happens.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Go ahead, bro.
You can't get mad at Hispanics and Mexicans.
No.
It's like, what you mean? I said, I'm gonna tell you why. You were selling dope with them and buying drugs from them, and why you see all these meat markets popping up, these grocery stores popping up? How the fuck you think all of these halls, dance halls popped up? Just like them Arab dudes, they was in the streets too.
Yep.
They was running guns and shit,
They
But
found a way to clean up their money. Yep.
I said, but when you go to the hood getting gentrified, we keep saying a dope boy is an entrepreneur. Motherfucker ain't starting that one business.
Mm-mm.
And you were like, what do you mean? These Mexicans got money. Where the fuck you think they got the money from?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They mix the drug money with the construction money. Hello?
They use the construction to clean up the dope money.
Right.
It's the same thing the Irish and the Italians did. They used their legitimate businesses to clean up the shit that they were doing in the streets. Giuliani comes from a mob past. He comes from unsavory and nefarious associations. But what we interested in is nigga trinkets.
That's why I get tired. Like, if anybody who knows about the streets, you really know about the streets, I can guarantee you got one thing in common. Somebody got a family picture with a bunch of motherfuckers in the picture looking fly, but are broke now or dead.
Yep. Yep. Posing and shit in different poses, in sharp suits and pinky rings, and they flashing money and shit. And then 20 years later, they somewhere getting a disability check. Yep.
It's like, where did this come from? It comes from squandering money. And this is part of the interracial thing. Some of you motherfuckers are trying to interracially date because they got more money than you. And you want to get your hands on that shit. And what you really don't understand is they're not letting you get your hands on their money. They're not.
Yep.
You got life fucked up.
Yep. Yep.
Because the one thing that we're not saying, other cultures spend money, but they have this thing where all of this money ain't my money, even if I made it.
Yep.
This money is going to this person. This money going to that person. This money is going for this. We don't do that. And you got to start small and grow big. We don't want to start small because guess what? You
can't flash when you start small.
Right. Because I've been thinking about this listening to Q recently. My father keep getting sick. I know good goddamn well he ain't got no insurance. I know he ain't got no life insurance. So guess who gonna wind up paying for the fucking funeral? And a lot of us don't think about shit like that. It's Christmas time. Add up all this. If you're a parent, add up all the shit you bought your kid for Christmas all these years. Add up all the outfits you bought for your kid all these years. All the goddamn electronics. And when it's time for them to go to school, I bet you ain't got it. Bet you ain't got it. That's the problem. Everybody you got to have a job. Cool. Have a job. I ain't tripping. I'm a person. I work a 9 to 5. You better be goddamn right. It's money going to retirement every 2 weeks. Ain't nobody willing to give that up for somebody just because somebody want to stunt. And I've watched people do it. I've literally watched people take other people's Rolexes, take other people's Mercedes, take other people's, 6 figures out of their account. Why? I wanted to show everybody I got it like that. Nigga, really? I'm not even gonna say when Katrina hit, there was a rap group who wound up in an apartment. I had a better apartment than they did.
Wow. Yeah.
And if I'm not saying the name, but when I walked into the apartment and we sitting there talking, I'm like, I know these motherfuckers.
Well, most of the wealth, what happens is that with those dudes, again, they don't understand. They think wealth is flashing. They think it's stunting because, again, they're not used to it. But when they go into a situation, they don't go into a situation business minded. They don't go into that situation like what you said, with all of this money ain't mine. all this money. You remember when they did the story on TLC, and they
Mm-hmm.
said when they went out on tour, they made all that money, and then when they
Mm-hmm.
came back, they only had $10,000
Mm-hmm.
between them. They couldn't understand, well, where did all the money go? Well, it goes to the people, the people that go out on tour with you, the engineer, the sound guy, the tour manager, the bus driver, the gas for the bus, the venues, the promoters. That's where all the money went. The hotels, all of that stuff, that's where your money went. So they thought that, okay, if I go out on tour and it's $1 million tour, they go out there thinking that they're going to get $1 million.
And they forget the most. They forget you get charged like Don King charges Mike Tyson.
Yep.
If anybody don't understand what that means, Don King would charge Mike Tyson thousands of dollars for towels because he was making so much money. It was just, oh yeah, we gave Mike 7 towels. That's $7,000. You would overcharge him for shit like that. Mike Tyson was like, he got so much money coming in, he ain't even paying attention. But see, he figured that out when he got in that situation, that Desiree Washington shit.
Yep.
Like, this motherfucker is charging me for what? And even when I was talking with the brothers about that situation, one of the things they told me then, they said, you know what? When we started making money, we felt like we made it and we was going to make money forever.
Mm.
That was, and I've met guys, I'm going to tell you a story, Maceo. So there's an NFL team. It was years ago, so I can say the team. So the Falcons had a player, right?
Right.
That went to a particular college.
Okay.
He was a top pick. So this was when they had the old contracts, when the rookies would get like $50-60 million.
Okay.
So he's a top pick. He get like $60 million. So a year, 2 years later, they draft another guy from the same college.
Okay.
So this guy's like late first round, early second round. So he's hanging out with the guy from his school. So what he does, he gets like a 1.5 million, right?
Yep.
So he's hanging out with his homeboy from the school who had got the 64 million. And he says, you know what I'm gonna do with my money? I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini.
Mm.
And one of my family members told the guy, like, listen, yo, that's 800,000 cash when that 1.5 get breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
That Lamborghini you want is 300,000. It's no guarantees you gonna even be here next year because this
Yep.
league is competitive. That's not a good
Yep.
idea. Once you buy a house first. No. I got this. So he bought the Lamborghini. And he tried to tell him, I said, the guy, because you've been hanging around with your boy, he got like 10 cars. That's because he got $64 million. Okay?
Right.
Them 10 cars don't really mean nothing to him.
Right. Exactly.
He said, but he got a big ass house first. So then, about a year or two later, he washed. He's done.
Mm.
And that car don't look so hot no more.
All of a sudden, he can do without it.
Yeah.
Or he can see all the shit he could have bought if he didn't buy it.
Exactly. And I've seen it so many times when I was younger. I remember a particular guy bought you remember when GMC had the Typhoon in the 90s?
Yep. I remember that.
So they was buying Typhoons. This particular guy had a Mustang. This is back when, because candy paint really started back in the 90s, 80s, 90s.
It did.
This guy painted his Mustang. It was candy painted, multicolored, but it was 24 karat gold. So it had the gold tint, but it had like a lime undertone to make the gold shine some more.
Right.
So he had the flyest car in the city. So about 2-3 years later, I said, so where your boy at? He said, man, he back home in the projects doing crack.
Mm.
And I'm like, what? He said,
Damn.
yeah, he didn't really save his money like that. You know, he was so busy, you know, balling that he didn't, you know, he ain't got nothing to show for it.
He was balling and he didn't bother to invest.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens when you end up, you go from a lot of money to normal people to go back to the projects where you came from. You know, a lot of people like, well, how does this? It happens a lot. See, people don't realize this. It happens a lot. You know, a lot of people think, oh, you know, just like if you guys who wanted to quote unquote be ballers, a lot of these wives, they go broke too. What do you think these damn housewife shows are? They advertisements for another nigga to pick them up.
Absolutely. They campaigning. They trying to get the bag.
Why you think the white chick dated the football player? I'm gone. Got me. I'm gone. I'm out. I ain't coming back.
What my book did on Harlem Nights, LAR.
I ain't coming home no more.
Richie, this Barbara, this is Richie. I ain't coming home no more.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
You know, I mean, y'all gotta. And a lot of people, if you're upwardly mobile, if you're a middle class person in America right now, and you got your shit together, you are in a better position because middle class ain't what it used to be. Yeah. There ain't really much middle class no more. It's working to stay afloat class, and it might look good.
I'm glad you said that because that's the thing now. That's another big thing because most of the black community is middle class, which is a lie by the numbers. Most of the black community is not middle class. They're going to say, well, most black men are middle class, which is another lie. Most black men are not middle class. According to the numbers, it's only 2.5 million of them. I think that's upper middle income, and the rest of them are working class to working poor. So a lot of people think that when they say middle class, that means that they've made it. In other words, they've moved on up when you say middle class. What do you think about that? First of all, do you even think that's true? Do you even think that there's this idea that the majority of the black community, or excuse me, the majority of black men are middle income? And then when you look at the numbers, you see the average black household is like 16, the average income in the black household is something like $16,000. According to, there's a survey that the Census Bureau does. It's called the Annual Supplemental Economic, the ASES is what it's called, American Supplemental Economic Survey. That's what it's called. The annual socioeconomic survey, something like that, but it's ASES, and they publish it. And then the Federal Reserve publishes the Consumer Financial Survey, and it measures how much wealth is inside of a household. So when these government agencies measure this type of wealth, it shows that niggas got less than nothing. But now here's some people coming along to the majority of black men are middle income. Now you look at the numbers and you look at the rhetoric, and it just don't match up. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Here's the thing, and this is where we as a people got to get some shit straight. I'm gonna use a gaming reference. Get on John Madden. Niggas we like playing video games. Put it on franchise mode. And if you put it on franchise mode, it's gonna tell you what's the median income in that city where that team is. You can find a median income for every city that has an NFL team on Madden. Because when you play franchise, you're the owner. So it lets you know the population and how much money you got to work with that could possibly come your way. First and foremost, when we talk about median income in America, it's household income. There ain't no guy, you ain't never seen a median single income. Never.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
If the single income, listen. This is where we fucking up as people. This is why we need to work together as in families, because other groups' house income is coming as a household.
LA, LAR, you starting to sound like a simp. Did you
Yeah.
say the F word, family?
Yes.
You a simp. Ah,
You
nigga, you a
goddamn right.
simp.
You goddamn right.
You're a simp.
Because
Does
I'm
that mean you have to get married, nigga?
no, you
Does
ain't got
that
to get
mean you
married.
have to get
You still got to be a fucking family. Because guess what?
still
You
gotta be
got
a
a
family?
family, don't you? See, here's the problem. You know, a lot of people don't want to. Okay, you know what to save us in a financial situation? Is why they say family is the backbone. Because if you in a fucking family, you got people who have different responsibilities, and guess what? You scratch their back, they scratch yours. Financially, also. See, the reason why we could say people have money is because you're single. Just because you have money coming in, we don't know how much money going out.
Right.
See, student loans is beating the shit out of the vast majority of Americans.
It is. I'm one of them. It is. I am one of them. Absolutely.
So that's problem
Absolutely.
number one.
Mm-hmm.
Problem number two. How can I say child support on both sides is beating the shit out of Americans? And if you're like, what do you mean? Well, guys paying child support, that's money out of your pocket. But if you're paying child support and you care about your kids, you're going to spend more money than the child support, for one. For two, so you're going to have money coming out that you probably ain't going to see anything with anyways. And your kid might not have much to show for it. So what? Still do what you fuck you supposed to do. But the women, you get accustomed to free money without no goddamn man. And what happens when you get old? Or when that kid get old, rather? Now you looking for a man as a supplemental income. Yeah, it should have just been in the family in the first fucking place.
Yeah.
Number three, you want the American dream. The American dream is a husband, wife, kids, dogs, and a picket fence, not you by your goddamn self.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you put your life on credit. You know, and you could tell a lot of us don't want to say this. The middle class is dying. I'm gonna tell you who got the who's making me crack up the most in America. Not who makes me crack up the most. Have you ever noticed that two things are exploding? Fast food restaurants or restaurants to go out to eat, and liquor stores.
Yep. Yep.
If you want to look at the three things that's popping up is food, liquor, and apartment complexes.
Yep.
Because most Americans can't afford to fucking be Americans.
Yep.
The vast majority of Americans can't afford the American dream. Why? Because there's no family.
Yep.
If you got a kid, guess what? Now you putting your kid in daycare. How much is that a month? You can't wait till that kid turn 5.
Absolutely.
And then when that kid turn 5, you trying to keep up with all the other parents who trying to, yeah, my kid got to have an iPhone. No, the fuck your kid don't. Better get that kid an old cheap ass phone.
Get him an Android.
Goddamn right.
Get him an Android. Get him a flip. Get him a flip phone. Get him a flip phone.
Now you paying for shit. You got my kid need this and that. No, they don't. And we don't want to even talk about. You don't even want to talk about how many people I've seen in my life who now you got motherfuckers shop wanting their groceries to get brought to them, wanting their fast food to get brought to them, got an Uber every goddamn where, don't want to drive nowhere. You do realize this American economy is about to be a bunch of lazy ass people paying for shit that you could do for your goddamn self.
Yep.
But you're gonna be, but no, the median income is not what it used to be. The middle class ain't what it used to be. The upper class loves this shit. Loves it. And if you don't want to be married, I can guarantee you better start working together with somebody. Because back in the day, guess what? People, your family will watch your kids.
Yep. Absolutely.
But you can't do right by your own goddamn family. Your family don't want to watch your kids no more.
Family don't want shit to do with you. Absolutely.
This is a different society. It doesn't matter how much money you make, because the old school middle class, they had a family unit. If you're making the same amount of money plus inflation, plus you actually own your own, you spend more. Common sense will tell you that. If you go to an apartment complex, if you buy a 1-bedroom, it costs more than if you had a 2-bedroom with a roommate.
Yep.
And people are like, if it's $700 for you, it'll be $1,200 for two. That's the thing.
Well, if you live in a place like New York City, or you live in Jersey or Philly, it's going to take another person a lot of times for you to be able to afford the rent if you don't clear a certain amount in wages.
And we don't talk about cities. A lot of times when people talking about cities, look, living, like, I got a homeboy, he lives not too far from me. His family lives in New York, like in Brooklyn. They came for a family reunion. They came to his house, and he's like, yo, how much is your mortgage? He told them what it would cost a month. And it was like, we got a 2-bedroom apartment in New York for the same price. It's like, exactly, motherfucker. That's why I'm down here. See, a lot of people don't realize that the cost of living is different.
Yep.
Like, people want to live places. Let me tell you something. If you live in New York, if you live in LA, if you live in Chicago, if you live in a DMV, if you live in Miami, because you want to be in a spot, you financially fucked.
Yep. Yep.
You better pick a different city, goddammit. There are people in Chicago right now who live right on the outskirts in Indiana, and their houses are great, but they drive in the city to go to work. And then people are like, why? Because they got a 3,000 square foot home out there for like $120,000 to $150,000. And you living in the city paying, $360,000. It's a fucking difference. But people don't use their brains because people want to live a certain lifestyle. Fuck the American dream lifestyle. It's a family lifestyle. It's not a single person's lifestyle.
Exactly.
This ain't the chicks in Sex in the City was looking for a man.
That's a good point.
Girlfriends looking for a man.
That show was all about trying to find a man. Or trying to keep one.
Yeah. And guys, you got to think the same thing. It's the dumbest shit in the world. When I used to be young and I used to go to a club or a restaurant and somebody would buy an expensive ass bottle or something. And I'd be sitting there, you paid $300 for a $34 bottle of that. How you know it's $34? Bitch, because it's at the grocery store. It's at the liquor store for $34.99. What are you talking about? And people are like, what are you look at the Moet you buy. I guarantee you that $300 bottle is the same thing.
Absolutely.
We don't have, it's a different ink. This shit, you go to school, get an education, people shitting on people who got trades. Nigga, you tripping. Trades cost less to get and pay more.
Yep.
So fuck is you talking about?
Yep. Because realistically, I have a bachelor's and I have a master's that I got in social and applied economics. I have some legal training as well. And then the more I started to learn, I'm like, this curriculum that they're teaching, it could have actually been in a trade school format. Mm-hmm. And it would have been a whole lot cheaper. And you probably would have turned out more attorneys, like in countries like Germany or in countries, some of the East European or West European countries where secondary or postgraduate education is free. They don't have the equivalent of law schools, but they turn out lawyers. They have lawyers. And it's usually because their educational system is socialized and their education or the instruction that they're getting is the equivalent of what you would get if you were doing what they call a skilled trade or or that type of training that you would get to be a plumber. Or I'm not saying the curriculum is the same. I'm saying how the method in which they teach it. So they would teach law, but instead of 3 years to get a degree, instead of 3 years to have that specialization or certification, you would have that specialization or that certification in a year or in a year and a half, and you would still be recognized as being able to practice law in that country, but you didn't have all that debt.
I crack up. I was talking to one of the brothers online about this recently, where a lot of y'all don't realize that America is assuming that the population is dumb. And they're right.
Yes.
Because we were clowning about houses. How if you got a house or apartment, you don't even know that all of the things in your house and apartment are standard and universal. You could switch them out at your convenience. Because the builders and the producers of materials made it that way.
Mm.
So now, even if you go to get for plumbing, changing a shower head ain't what it used to be. Changing a faucet ain't what it used to be. Taking out a sink ain't what it used to be. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't what it used to be.
Yep.
Like, what is that thing? What is the doggone thing? If your water get cut off, if you got a house, you can cut it. You could just go outside and cut it back on.
Yep. You have that wrench. I've seen that quite a few times where they get their water cut off. They have that little wrench design where they go to stick it down in the little sewer and cut that shit back on.
Like, a lot of this stuff, people don't realize, you paying for stuff that you really, at this point, because we want to be so American and so high and mighty, we don't do regular stuff now.
Right.
Regular stuff. People don't realize this is what's happening to society, is that you need to understand that you're not doing regular shit anymore. Regular. Not anything over the top.
Right.
It's sad. I did a video where I was driving and a sister's car, she blew a tire. And it's another sister that pulled over to help her, and she was in a white dress trying to change her tire. So right. I pulled over. I was like, man, get your ass up. But the girl who car it was, she was on YouTube trying to figure out how to change a tire.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, God damn.
You got to go to YouTube to figure out how to fix a tire.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is. And I thought about it because I got a real close homegirl of mine who I went to help her put some air in her tire because she needed to get a tire, so to get her somewhere. Mm-hmm. She had told me, she said, you don't realize, I've never known a man who was able to even figure this out. And I was like, wait, what?
She has never known a man that has been able to figure out how to change a tire.
How to change it, put air in it. Mm-mm.
How to put air in it?
Yeah, I was sitting there stuck. I'm like, huh?
That don't surprise me. I mean, I'm about to act shocked, but I'm not. You remember there's a movie that was out that came out over 10 years ago called Idiocracy.
Oh yeah. The Gatorade on the water.
Yeah. Brondo. Yeah.
That shit, I'm like, just like when I see women, I've met women for years. Oh, I don't cook. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how many women I've taught to cook in the last 20 years. Wow. That don't make no fucking sense to me, but I stopped at a certain point. I'm like, y'all bitches need to get it together. Right. I've met so many people who, like, I had to learn about credit on my own. I had to learn about contracts on my own. And I started realizing we're living in a society where people want to, Instagram is not real. That's some bullshit.
Social media is not real.
Yeah, it's just not real. When you go out and you take pictures of shit, it's like, no, that ain't what's up. Like, I didn't know, and it might be weird to say this, but I did not know that a friend of mine had to tell me that now they started using your student loans against you when you apply for houses.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
And I'm like,
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah, I knew that was coming because they need a way that default rate. They need a way to address that default rate. They need a way to deal with that. And it's just like with a lot when they snatching taxes. You file taxes, they snatch that shit. You know, they garnish your bank accounts. I knew that was coming because they're not just gonna let you off the hook with tens or hundreds of thousands. That's not gonna happen. So they have to have a way to uh, recoup that. Now, one of the things that one of the little known pieces of legislation that Barack Obama did do was a form of forgiveness for those debts. Was that if you work for a governmental
Right.
institution, they want, I think it's 5 or 10 years. They wanted 5 or 10 years of your time, and you would be completely absolved of student debt. But of course, that is kind of problematic in an environment where everybody now is trying to cut down government to say that you will be able to get government employment. But nevertheless, that was a nice idea because what that does is that absolves people of a lot of college debt. It allows them forbearance of a lot of college debt. So, you know, I knew that that was going to become, at some point, they're going to start putting that into other areas. They're going to start penalizing you. Uh, for that at certain point because when they made it, and of course I can understand why they would do it too. They made student loans, you that's non-dischargeable. You cannot discharge that in bankruptcy.
Right.
You cannot discharge taxes, you cannot discharge child support, and you cannot discharge student loans in child support. I mean, excuse me, in bankruptcy court. I'm sorry. You cannot discharge that. And I knew they were going to find a way. I knew they were going to find a way to do that.
And guys going, I mean, I know a few guys that have this, you know, women have, since there are more women in college, their biggest issue is those student loans.
Yep.
Guys, your biggest issue is fucking and making too many babies that you
Yep.
can't afford.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Well, the thing is, they said, well, the women tricked it at them. The hoes tricked it at them. They got these babies because the women tricked it at them, and so forth and so on. You know, they were gotten over on, and I'm like, no, what it was is y'all were conning each other, and best game won. You were doing all right until you fucked up and she missed her cycle. That was the checkmate. It was all good until she was late.
look, I'll take you got tricked the first time.
But not 10 other times.
Yeah. The other, and some of you motherfuckers out here, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna put y'all on blast. Just because some of you motherfuckers talk to chicken and having an abortion, don't mean you still ain't shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, see, some guy, oh, I ain't got no kid, nigga. I know how this shit works.
You were able to talk her to an abortion. That's the only reason you don't have kids.
Right. Like, and some women, you know, some of you ladies, I know the same shit y'all be on. See, look, man, I don't say I've been around the block enough, but I've been around the block. I've seen people do shit. And this is what, even when you talk about the interracial dating, y'all think y'all gonna pull that same shit. Y'all, first of all, y'all too scared to try to pull that same shit with white people.
Exactly.
And the second part is they ain't scared to pull that shit on your bitch ass. They'll hem your ass up, and you just gonna sit there and take it.
I take it.
We don't. Y'all don't realize that what's going on is it's not necessarily one of the biggest issues in America is it ain't the America that your parents lived in financially. So now it's a free for all because the country's in so much debt. So now what you gonna do? You got people trying anything to get ahead. But the problem is this: America is built on uncertainty now. You're not gonna. You might not be. We might be at the very end of a time where people wind up working the same job for 30, 40 years. You know, it's only a certain few avenues that could do that now.
Absolutely.
Because if I'm not mistaken, and I heard this shit yesterday, I don't even know if it's true. Somebody said Walmart purchased FedEx.
Damn.
So I don't, if that's fucking true, as a way to compete with Amazon.
Well, they just lost their wages. They just got their wages cut.
So I don't know if maybe it's a contractual, exclusivity type of thing, or if they bought them for real. That's gonna be interesting.
That Sam, whatever his name is, he is not finna pay them niggas FedEx wages. That is not finna happen. Hell, he won't pay Walmart workers living wages.
And by the way, for people don't know, them 6 kids got more money than probably 80% of the fucking country.
Yep.
If y'all know who I'm talking about Sam Walton's kids.
Yep.
Them fucking kids just made more money than I seen in my life saying that sentence.
Absolutely.
That's where we at. I mean, it's been if you want a better life, you're gonna have to strike up a deal and pay for it. And and you better draw up a contract and make sure you got some straight rules.
Absolutely.
Because everybody can't be rogue, my nigga. Rogue ain't a life you want to live.
Nope.
And I hate to tell the men this, but I know y'all so mad that it's a bunch of rogue chicks trying to come back because the shit ain't work for them. A lot of y'all niggas rogue too.
Exactly. That's my thing. Just like the rogue, and that's what I've been saying the longest. A nigga who didn't cash out and who's old and who is not successful, who's not balling out of control, he has the same sexual market value as an old hoe that hit the wall.
And I tried to tell guys that a while back, guys hit the wall too. No, we don't. The fuck you don't.
Well, what they're trying to say is, well, I have more of the means. I have more of the ability to provide the older I get. Allegedly, that's the way it seems. But when you hash the shit out of when the rubber meets the road, okay, all right, dog, you're a security guard. You Otis the security guard at Walmart, or you're the greeter. You're the security guard at the bank, so you're stable, but no, Otis, they're not checking for you after, you've ran through umpteen holes and you don't have a living wage that will sustain them. Because a lot of these dudes have a bag big enough to die on.
See,
a lot of these niggas have a bag that is big enough to die on. They got a little pension, or they have a small amount of money. They're living on they're trying to ball on a fixed budget. They're living on a fixed income. So what they're trying to say is my fixed income pays my bill. You're right. Your fixed income will pay your bills. It will not sustain you and another woman.
I'm gonna say this, and some of you guys ain't gonna like when I say this. There are a lot of old players who got roommates because they can't take care of them goddamn selves.
Oh, you got to say that again. There are a lot of what?
Old players who got roommates because they can't take care of their damn selves.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, and you're like, how did that happen? Because they were players. See, a lot of times we don't talk about what happens. A lot of players are so accustomed to talking a game and chicks doing shit for them, they lose the skills of being a man and surviving for themselves.
Exactly.
So when they fucking hit the wall, they just like a chick.
Exact. Just like that's why I said they have the same damn sexual market value as an old hoe. And they just like what you just said, they end up with someone, and here they end up with the ugliest bitch in creation, because that's the woman that's going to take care of. They'll talk all that shit about how they want beautiful women, but end up with the ugliest old bitch in creation. Why? Because she has a steady income. Why? Because she has the means to take care of her. Why? Because she has the house. The house is in her name. She becomes his survival plan. She becomes his retirement package. She becomes his bag. And so when you look at it, you see these niggas when it's time to cash out, you see how they look and how they're living. And you go back and then they have all this knowledge in the world about feminine. And for the most part, they may or may not be accurate. They may or may not know what they're talking about. But then you look at yourself, you said, do I want to end up like that? Do I want to end up like him? Because if it were not for that woman, he would end up in a rest home, shitting on himself, being abused by a stripper that moonlights as an STNA home health aide. He would end up somewhere stewing in his own urine, stewing in his own shit because he's being neglected at this nursing home. That's how a lot of them end up, or dependent upon the kindness or the compassion of their own children. Now, if they haven't, if they don't have a parental relationship and they haven't been, or they've been a shitty parent, their children don't even want to be bothered with them. Their children will be the first ones to shove them in the hospice. The children will be the first ones to shove them in the rest homes. Their children will be the first ones to want to get rid of them. Why? Because you ain't shit.
Or that same, or they try to fuck up them kids' relationships so they can take care of their stupid ass, and they're gonna get thrown out because of that.
Exactly. They try to fuck up there because they want their kids' attention so their children can take care of them. Exactly. See, that's the end, and that has been my point. That's the end of all of this. You know, when they talk about this player, okay, that shit is cool in your 20s. Even Tariq, Mr. Mac Lessons himself cashed out.
Yeah.
Mr. Mac, Mr. Pimp, the art of macking, has a wife with 4 children. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
See,
even Iceberg Slim got married. You see what even Rosebud got married. Of course, he's divorced today, but even Rosebud got married.
See, the thing about it is, if this is where just because you're a player don't mean you go into the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of players, but there's not a lot of people in the Hall of Fame.
I got one better. You go to the Hall of Fame, now what? You in the Hall of Fame. You 65 years old and you made it to the Hall of Fame. Now what? What is the quality of your life like at 65? You ain't gonna be able to do no fucking. You ain't gonna be able to jump up and down in no woman at 65. Hell, it's a magic trick at 40. It's a magic trick at 40. You ain't gonna be able to do all that fucking in your 60s and your 70s.
That's the thing.
Your prostate is gonna eventually age.
And you know what? I'm about to.
What do you do?
You about to make me go in. Let me explain something. Let me explain something. And I said this to some guys, and they got so mad. Here's the thing: guys who are players are effeminate most of the time because they're trying to look good and be cool.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did you just say guys that are players are what?
Most of the guys are effeminate.
Most of the guys that are players are effeminate?
Yes.
Did you just say that?
Yes. Because they approach everything in a female's way.
Like a woman.
That's how they get women. People don't want to say that, but they do things that will get a woman's attention because they know women so well. So they wind up emulating women. They just a guy doing women shit.
Oh, so they emulate women to get women.
Right. So here's the problem though. Just like a woman feels so sexy and beautiful, she lets herself go and her ego is still thinking she the shit and she looks terrible. The guys, you do the same thing when you play us like that.
Yep.
Now you get your clothes, you get the suits, you get the alcohol, you get the cigars, you eating steaks, and what happened? Your ass get overweight and out of shape.
Yep.
And then what happened? You let your game do the talking. You make yourself a trophy nigga. But when y'all go home, you ain't got nothing.
Well, you know what they do with trophies, though, right?
They put them on a shelf.
They put them on the shelf and they gather what?
Exactly, dust. And guess what happens? You glad that you the trophy.
Absolutely.
You the trophy now, but your ego don't want to tell. You don't want to tell nobody. You holding on because she wants something else because all you do is collect dust.
All you do is collect dust.
A lot of old players don't do shit. You ask an old player, a guy who's an old player to change some oil, change a tire, cut some grass.
He ain't doing that.
But he ain't doing a motherfucking thing.
He doing shit. Yep.
And he gonna tell you, I'm a man. Shit, I ain't got to do nothing. And guess what? In the beginning, you gonna believe that shit.
Mm,
And then after a while, you're like, this nigga don't do shit. And the
yeah.
reason why his testosterone is in the toilet is because he don't do shit.
Yep.
That's why I tell you, these guys, they get a lot of this quote unquote low testosterone is because you motherfuckers stop doing shit. I'm a man out of doing everything. You ain't getting your hands dirty no more.
Well, that's like a woman. Don't isn't that's
Exactly.
what you were just saying? Because women don't like to get their hands dirty. You know, I have a friend that's a female. She is not changing tires. She is not gonna touch a motherfucking tire, no matter what. She is not gonna touch a tire. It's just not gonna happen. She'll call a nigga to do it, but she will not touch. She is not gonna change a tire. So if you, which one of y'all is the man now? So if you won't do the man shit, which one of y'all is supposed to be the leader of the relationship? Why should she capitulate to your authority if you don't want to do the things necessary to be a leader?
And I hate to say it, but I'm gonna be honest. A lot of y'all sisters think a street nigga is the pillar of masculinity, but the vast majority of them niggas can't fight and don't even know how much a box of bullets costs.
Yep.
So
A lot of niggas getting by false advertising. You don't think that a tattoo on his arm means that he know how to scrap. A lot of niggas got that. That's a uniform. Just like some niggas put on a suit for uniform, a lot of niggas will go get a tattoo because it's a uniform. A lot of niggas go put on a wife beater and denim because it's a uniform.
y'all don't realize how many motherfuckers with the darkest ass shades and they make him look hard, but his eyes wide as a motherfucker because he's scared.
Yep. Terrified. Terrified.
There are certain things that I used to tell my female friends and my homeboys certain shit. They'd be like, "Look, oh, that guy is rough. Let me see. Look at that guy's forearms. What does that mean? His forearms are like jelly. That nigga can't do nothing. He ain't got no hand strength. What are you talking about?" Sometimes I get on Instagram and I laugh at stuff like watching Rick Ross and Snoop Dogg do boxing workouts with they train. I'm like, all this years talking about they can kill somebody. These bitches can't even throw a punch. All these
Rick Ross
years.
and Snoop Dogg.
All these years. How you know these? Let me tell you, like all this shit is a look, man. It like everything is some bullshit. And the reason, and ladies, y'all get played by that uniform.
Yep.
Y'all get played, and guys like just like men don't, like a woman can see something in a woman that a guy can't see. Men see that shit in other men. Like, oh yeah, that nigga soft. Oh, he hard. Okay. I remember a guy that people thought was hard when I was a teenager. This nigga got pulled over as a teenager by the cops. He ditched the car. His girlfriend was in the car. He left her with the guns. She wound up going to court and damn near catching a charge till she said who her boyfriend was. And the judge told her, "Yeah, I told him if he ever come back in my court, I'm locking his ass up."
Yep.
And here's the bitch ass part about the story. Her parents died. So he left her like that when she ain't even had no motherfucking parents no more.
She ain't had nobody else that she can,
right?
Oh, yeah, they do that shit. They do that shit. That's why I always tell these women. I said, you think, because a lot of women got in their feelings, and some dudes got in their feelings too, when I said that, the 75 is what happens. You lower your value when you fuck with those niggas.
Yeah.
You lower your value when you fuck with a quote unquote the Lester Diamonds. You lower your value when you fuck with, these grimy niggas on the block. You lower your value. And so when you come to me, you have no value to me other than sex. But I know when I'm dealing with you and I just want sex from you, I know all the other shit that you bring because you bring all the baggage that you got from him. And I don't want that shit. I don't want that baggage. I don't want to deal with all these kids that have behavioral problems and disorders. I don't want to deal with that shit. So don't get mad at me for offering you 75. Get mad at the nigga that lowered your value.
And
Get
also,
mad at him. Don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at him and get mad at you. You
exactly.
fell for that. Don't get upset because I'm offering you 75. Because right now, even though this may seem demeaning to you, I'm actually your best friend. I'm actually your best friend. You think this is, but I'm your best friend because he got a criminal case for you. He getting you thrown off your Section 8 of your housing. He fucking up your credit. He getting your car repossessed. You know, you catching cases for this nigga. That's not your friend. That's not your friend. When you fuck with that dude, when you fuck with that dude, you lower your value. You lower your sexual market value. You lower you lower the desire for men to seek you out for feminine or sexual companionship. Because after a while, they don't even want to deal with you on a sexual companionship basis. Because how I know you ain't set me up for this nigga? How I know you and him ain't on some grimy shit? How do I know? Dealing with you now becomes now it's a
A
possibility
liability.
where I may, yeah, it's a liability. Now I have to risk losing my life to fuck with you. And I don't want to have to be fucking you and looking over my shoulder and, jerking my head around every time I hear some kind of funny noise. You know, I don't want to have to deal with that shit. So after a while, dudes are not going to even want to fuck you. They're not even going to want to have sex with you. You know, and I don't
Ladies,
know.
ladies, I'll
You
tell
know,
y'all something that I've watched just watch. A lot of y'all became alcoholics and lesbians because of this. I ain't even gonna talk about the drugs,
mhm.
but a lot of y'all have become alcoholics and lesbians because, to a degree, it ain't just the guy. Like we said earlier, water seeks his own level.
Yep,
You a ain't shit motherfucker too,
yep,
and you realize you don't know how to not be an ain't shit motherfucker.
yeah.
So a
And,
lot of this is bullshit. I'm sorry.
and they get comfortable. They get comfortable in that fuckery. They're comfortable. They get maladjusted to that fuckery. They don't like it, but they get adjusted to it because in order to step up their game, in order to step up their
You
game,
gotta let it go.
you got to let it go. You got to discipline yourself. You got to go through a painful process in order to change or level up. And they don't want to do that. It's comfortable to talk about. It's comfortable to languish in filth. It's comfortable to languish in abnormality. So that nigga don't even though he's fucked up. It's like, yeah, I know he's fucked up, but he's familiar. I know he's fucked up, but he understands me. I know he's fucked up, but he gonna understand that I'm late on my bills. I know he's fucked up, but he gonna understand the fact that I ain't shit. Because what that dude really is, he corroborates how she
Mm.
feels about herself.
And
He
the crazy,
corroborates the fact that she knows that she ain't shit. And that's why a lot of them get adjusted to that. And then what happens is when they come across a dude that could level them up, that dude is going to require certain things. He's going to require certain fundamentals. And you have to be consistent with that behavior. And a lot of them, they shout-winded. They lack the wind for consistency. So it's easier to lay there and let that nigga do whatever he's gonna do, or the next nigga just like him come in and do what he's gonna do because that's familiar, you know.
you
And
know,
then when they become old, old young thoughts become old thoughts, and then they got nothing to offer to anybody. Niggas don't even want sex from them no more. They don't
let,
even want sex from them anymore. They don't even want that from them anymore, you know.
it's bad. And I said, one of the things I remember back in the day when my homeboy talked about is you could tell if you functional or dysfunctional if your vices are celebratory, or if they're celebratory, you're probably more functional. But if they're something you need to mask your pain, you probably dysfunctional.
Yep.
If you out drinking because you celebrating, that's one thing. If you drinking because you fucked up, that's another thing. You having sex because it's a great night, that's one thing. You having sex because it make you feel like a better person or whatever, it makes you escape something, that's another. You dysfunctional.
Yep.
You know, a lot of times, and a lot of, you know, a lot of ladies, y'all get, I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all wind up doing. Y'all have a, because y'all are so image driven and beauty driven, you advertise your dysfunction to men. He sees it.
Yep.
By the way, by your hairstyle, by your makeup, by your eyebrows, your eyelashes, by your clothes, by your dress, by the way you carrying yourself, by what you eat. He could tell if you really like yourself or not.
Yep.
This is why a lot of you ladies getting preyed on, because you think these guys ain't shit. But the thing about it is, the guys who ain't shit know he can get you because how you approach yourself,
how you move,
and then the guys who about something don't want that. He think you attractive. He
or the
just ain't gonna
guys that
talk to
about
you.
something, he ain't trying to stay long term. He trying to stay for the night too.
Right. A lot of you ladies, how you know? We can tell a lot of y'all ain't long term. How can I say this gently?
You can't.
Yeah, you're right.
They've been up
You're
here
right.
3 hours and 55 minutes, and no need in being
You're
gentle
right.
now. Shit, say it.
Because the way you carry yourself is short term. Nothing about how you present yourself to the world is long term. Your skin say you it's fucked up because you doing short term shit to fix it. Your hair is fucked up and you doing short term shit to fix it. Your character is fucked up and you doing short term shit to fix it in public, so somebody can pick you that night. See, you're not a long term thinker. You don't think you could. You don't think you something that could last a test of time. You made yourself fly for the night. That's all you got. So everybody gonna view you as fly for the night. They're not looking at you like, she ain't worth keeping. You ain't no different than a motherfucker on social media who got money spread out on the table. And you looking around, that's a shitty apartment, but he got hundreds.
A dirty ass mirror.
Yeah, like what the
Taking
fuck are you?
picture flossing with money in a dirty ass mirror.
Like,
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, I think we had 3 hours and 56 minutes. I'm about to wrap up. I want to thank my guests for coming up here. LAR movement, my brother's still moving around. Thank you for coming up here with me, Blood. I saw the podcast you did, the one you did after the one I did, where I think you were talking about average people. We all
yeah.
just average people.
Yes.
That shit was a classic. So, bro, tell everybody where you could be found. Please tell them where you could be found. And please push your book before we get out of here.
The book is Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. It's on Amazon. It's a link in the vast majority of my videos in the description box. Y'all can find me at LAR Movement on YouTube. I'm just talking about the things I think about and things that happen in life. Some of the shit you might like, some of the shit might hurt. Shit, I hurt myself sometimes because I say some shit that I'm fucking up on too.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and thank you for having me.
Oh man, anytime you in here, bro, you got an invitation to be up here. Anytime you come over, you come through, you got an invitation to be up here. As always, you can find me at Power and Strategy. This is my channel. Also, I have another YouTube channel, Genosha TV. I try to have 90% less niggardry over there. 90% less niggardry. I try. I don't always succeed. 90% less niggardry on Genosha TV. On PayPal, you can hit me at tonymaceo71 on paypal.me. You can hit me there on paypal.me, tonymaceo71. Cash App is $ Tony Maceo. On Patreon is Power of Strategies on Patreon. Thank you guys for tuning in, for hanging with me. Thank you guys. My audience is actually building, is actually growing. My channel is growing. I want to thank to all the guys that Cash App me today. I may not have always shouted out your name, but thank you for your support. Thank you guys for being here. This has been another Power and Strategy production. Until next time, I wish you love, peace, and soul.
Peace.